He still seems scared. Go ahead, man. We got no intro.
Welcome, everybody, to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. We are currently live right now. I'm Eric.
The hater. And I'm Lord Manny. Hey, hates!
Ho, ho! I'm Marcus, the grand finale. And welcome to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast.
And this week it's a very, very special edition because we have longtime listener, a person who needs no introduction, as I switch to a camera that doesn't have any graphics because I couldn't figure it out. I'm still a little salty about that, but it doesn't matter. We have Adrian, a.k.a. the DiZ Man, on the show. How are you doing today, sir?
What's really good, Sharpies? What's really good?
And you know, with Adrian being on the show, it can only mean one thing, is that he's here to promote something. So without his email, Adrian,
Right, that's right.
we are here to celebrate the launch of book number 2, or I should say episode number 2 of
There you go.
AWO
My
Big
man.
Time Players, episode 2, continuing to grow. How do you feel releasing your second book to the world?
Man, I feel like there's a weight off my shoulders because this was a long, not as long as the first book, but a long process, and it feels good to put out book number 2, and I am very proud of this one. If you like the first one, you will love this one, because as Mos Def said, I put my heart and soul into this, y'all. So I really I feel that people are really going to enjoy this one. So please swing by Amazon and pick up a copy and get the first one so you're not lost with what's going on in this one.
In this book, what can we expect that we didn't get into the other book? Is it going to be more storylines that are explained, or what should we be holding on to?
It's going to continue the storyline that was started in the first one. It's going to advance some storylines, and I'm going to tell you right now, one of the matches is going to be more violent than in previous matches that I've written about. So it's definitely going to have a different feel than the first book.
Indeed.
Can I ask a question?
You sure
And
can?
I like when they do this on the shows. And I know who you are, but hey, I know you know who I am. But I like when they do this on the show. Hey, DiZ Man, this is Marcus.
You didn't say what newspaper you were representing, though.
Oh, I'm with the Sharpshooters Post,
Times or something like that.
the Tribune. I'm with the Tribune.
There you
I'm not gonna tell you which one, but I'm with the Tribune, no doubt. Yeah, this is Marcus from the Tribune, and I had a question. Previously there was the on our show we were discussing characters.
Mm-hmm.
Does this one include Blackjack and Pie Gal?
No, not yet. But Blackjack and Pie Gal will be coming soon.
Oh, okay. I was just checking because
I
you know that was
would
my
imagine.
curation. That was my big. I wanted to know where that story went.
Manny,
They're definitely coming. I've already got them mapped out. Lord Manny Hayes, spoiler alert, is going to show up in the next book, but Blackjack and Pie Gal will not be far behind.
Manny, if you could do us a favor, can we hold up the very first book of AWO Big Time Players, just to let everybody know what it looks like, and it's located at Amazon. I mean, he's famous. Look at that right there. The beginning of change. And since we're at the beginning of the change and we're continuing to grow, it's only one thing I can talk about, and that's Impact Wrestling right now, who is on a path of growing into becoming an actual competitor in the world of professional wrestling right now. I will say I took some time out of my week that was extremely busy. I sat down and I watched this week's episode of Impact Wrestling to get prepared if I wanted to watch Slammiversary this weekend. And I will say, I was impressed with what I saw. I might even say that I liked it better than AEW this week because guess what? I didn't have plot holes. And that's all I don't want.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Tell me something, brother.
I'm gonna give you an analogy here. It may not fully make 100% sense because it's coming up right now. So, you are rewatching Impact, correct? Right?
Yes.
A show you swore off that you would never go back to, right?
Yes.
So, I consider it that your ex that you were in a relationship with all those years ago, and then you get into a new relationship and you start appreciating your old girlfriend Impact, who is a very weird name for a young lady, Impact, wasn't that bad after all. Is that where you're at? Is that what your hate have taken you to?
Marcus, you're correct, because when I was watching Impact and they showed me the replay of the Ultimate X match between Chris Sabin, Kenny King, and Suicide, and I was like, wow, Ultimate X was something different. I remember hating it at the time, but compared to what I'm getting in AEW right now, I'm okay with this. I mean,
so when did you watch that match? How long ago was that?
What? The Ultimate X match?
Yeah.
Oh, they showed it on this week's episode of Impact. It was like
no, but when did you first watch it?
Hell if I know. I don't know.
Like 10 years ago?
I'm pretty sure I hated it then. You know, I'm sorry.
So you've been a hater for that long as well?
Man, Marcus, though, I've been a hater since I was born.
I feel like you quit. I feel like you quit Impact when this match even occurred. I feel like you didn't even realize that this match even took place.
You know what it really is? You're having angry sex with Impact. That's what it is. That's what it really is.
It's some angry ass sex with Impact.
You know
exactly what's going on. Angry sex with Impact is better than making love with AEW.
Let me tell you something. When I was watching Impact, I was sitting there. I was like, damn, I am cheating on AEW right now because I'm enjoying this right now. I was like, wow. I was like,
cheating on AEW.
I was like,
you hate AEW to begin with.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes it was an arranged marriage that I got paired with, and I just have to kind of, you know, go with the flow for the purposes of this show, because we all know I'm loyal to WWE. So like,
well, you're married to the E.
So
you're
yeah,
married to the E, and your side pieces is Impact and AEW.
No, my side piece was AEW, and the next thing you know,
I'm just saying that's a bad investment.
Then I went back to my original side chick of Impact, and now it's like still no one is better than WWE, but I'm trying to do it on the low so no one knows what I'm doing.
Everyone knows what you're doing.
AEW is that kind girl that treats you right, but you take advantage of her because she's so kind to you.
Nah, man. Now AEW is that girl that's ghetto and is annoying, but you know what? Sometimes it pays off.
Okay, Eric, here we go. We're going to a Family Matters reference.
Okay.
Steve Urkel. Is AEW and Impact, which one is, oh my God, which one is Laura and which one is Myra?
AEW is Laura. and I'll make, and WWE is Myra. WWE is Myra because I've always liked Myra.
I feel like you have it reversed in which Myra's treating you great, but you still cussing at Laura. I don't know. I don't know where this analogy's going. But I'm just saying.
But you just brought one up just to bring one up.
Yeah. I just thought about them too, when you're like, the girl that's treating you right that he needs to be with instead of the girl he keep chasing. But, you know, AEW's that freak in the bed that does everything for you.
Yeah, they don't do anything for me, man.
They flip all over the room.
See, Marcus.
But you can't make a love to AEW.
This is where you're wrong, Marcus. This is where you're wrong, Marcus. Let me fix your analogy as I hold up my pen. Marcus, AEW is the girl with all that money that you keep going to because she keeps taking care of you and buying you all this stuff. You don't want to be there, but you know you're going to get your bells and whistles from her. Impact is that freak. Well, you know what? You give me some stuff that I like. I mean, I don't want to see Tommy Dreamer versus Moose, but at the same time, I'm interested in your Open Championship. And then the DiZ Man has disappeared with the camera. I don't know where the DiZ Man went.
He had enough of your hate. All right? I feel like the WWE is the way you're there for the money.
So I'm there
for the money and longevity and security.
As we figure out what happened to the DiZ Man, I'm gonna go back to our regular camera shot with just the three of us. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing, and I'm just curious. Did you guys watch any Impact? Do you guys know anything about the Slammiversary card that is happening today?
Nope.
I do.
Do you care that they're going to be crowning a new Impact champion with Ace Austin versus Eddie Edwards versus Trey versus a mystery opponent?
Yeah, I care. I know what the mystery opponent's going to be.
Now, Marcus, my question for you, are you man enough to put your title on the line for a Slammiversary pay-per-view, unlike for this Extreme Rules pay-per-view, since you guys screwed me out of my title?
What do you mean? Like in a house show? You want me to put my title on the line at a house show? At a house show, you already got your rematch at the horror show in Street Rules, and when we go over our predictions today. How dare you try to get an early title reign this week? Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Lord Manny Hayes, don't sanction this.
I just feel like I got screwed out of my title.
You did not get screwed out of your title.
I got screwed out of my title.
How did you get screwed out of your title?
Because it ended in the tie. Everybody knows as a draw, it was a draw. And then everyone knows when I decided to pick Cameron Grimes, I picked Cameron Grimes and so we could have a little spice in it. You guys making that match worth 2 points is ridiculous to me. Ridiculous, and I'm still upset.
We made it 2 points on the show with you there. You were there. And it doesn't take away from the time I picked Swerve Scott in a match we didn't even know that was taking place. We didn't even know.
I'm going to let you know, Marcus, Chris Bay is a better Swerve Scott than Swerve Scott.
Eric. So what happened to you on Wednesday? I've got a book for you. Like the DiZ Man, he's plugging a book. I've got a book for you too.
What? What book? You know what? You know what? F all y'all. F all y'all.
No way, Ed. As I retain my title, and I refuse. How about this? Because I was watching the Anderson and Gallows podcast, and they have confirmed that they will be at Slammiversary tonight, and that they re-up with Impact. And then, they told the story of how they regret re-signing with WWE, and they called Paul Heyman a liar. And I feel like I'm getting a bunch of screenshots and stuff. But it went through all that. But if I can predict the Slammiversary next champion, I get to retain my title, and there is no title match at Extreme Rules.
No, I'll go with Extreme Rules because I have another question for you. How did Paul Heyman lie to them since you listened to this podcast? I mean, you can help us with the opening banter.
So they were going through the time of re-signing, and Triple H threw a wad of money at them, and so they're going to take care of them because they were already going to AEW, and apparently they screwed everybody over at AEW. And the Young Bucks text them, motherfuckers, and what the fuck, man? Now we look bad, because we told everybody you'll be here on the first episode of Dynamite, back in their original negotiations. And then they just went with the money, because Triple H was like, just tell me a number. And just gave them a contract, and they took the money. And so, they called, and they talked about they're going to get some pushes and stuff. And they called Triple H, was like, what we going to do? And he's like, oh, you need to call Paul Heyman. And then Paul Heyman treated him like the son that he's always wanted. Told him he's going to give them everything they've ever wanted and more. And, they were going to push them to the moon, and they're not just going to be tag champ. They're going to be a real threat, and they're going to be featured on the show. They're going to be featured. That speech lasted all but 1 week when they decided to job them to Ricochet, and then they were never featured again. They were just a joke. And then Paul Heyman also stated, if I'm lying about not pushing you, as he went in, if I'm lying, you can go to the locker room, you go to the media, you go everywhere in the world and say, Paul Heyman's a motherfucking liar. Because I ain't no motherfucking liar. And then Luke Gallows goes, he said that, and now we're here saying, Paul Heyman's a motherfucking liar. You cannot trust him. He's a snake in the grass.
Yeah, but you should have known going into it, you can't trust Paul Heyman. He doesn't have any power in this situation. I mean, at the end of the day...
No, he had the power.
No.
And then, on top of that, he was the one that requested that they got released.
Wow, really?
It was Paul Heyman that wanted them out.
Manny, how do you feel about this? How do you feel?
They were on the chopping block. It's like, oh, they were too.
Manny, how do you feel about this revelation?
Excuse me.
Well, AJ Styles already said that Paul Heyman couldn't be trusted like a few weeks ago. That hence the move from Raw to SmackDown.
Yeah, he called him a liar too on his gaming channel or something. So it's like that whole group was like, Paul Heyman's a liar. So that's where the bad blood, I think, between them has come from.
Very, it's an interesting change of how it all works out, because at the end of the day, they got paid. They did get paid, and if they would have went to AEW, they would have ended up like Brody Lee, the Murder Hawk, and now Brian Cage. I mean, quite frankly, I think what Marcus rebuke it.
Well, no, not rebuking. I'm not rebuking. It's what Triple H told them when they were re-upping. Because when he was like, I give you whatever number, But he's like, I trust you guys' integrity and all that. You guys, want to be used and all this. But he's like, you never know what the next 5 years will bring. Are you 100% confident that AEW will be around in 5 years? This is guaranteed money you're getting from us, and we will never get rid of you. Then they got rid of him. But it was, at that point, it was that reassurance from Triple H, and them both thinking that they were Triple H's boy, and that WWE does seem to have that longevity, and that it will always probably be here in some capacity or not. That helped to say. And now they say they regret the decision, but as Carl Anderson replied, well, I do got me a big-ass house because of it.
I mean, that's what you... And now you can go off to Impact and hopefully be used in a very prominent way. DiZ Man, I'll come to you. Do you think they have issues? Do you feel like they are feeling okay with being screwed, or were they screwed? Or is DiZ Man just a picture of himself in no words? He might just be a picture of himself.
Judgmental with that frozen
Yeah. we may have lost the DiZ Man again. As we stare menacing as he looks at us, he is gone again. He is having connection issues. I guess we should just move on to AEW. And I know you guys talked about this on Thursday night. It was the fight for the Fallen, and
he's back.
He is back. We think he's back, but we don't know. He might be back. The Baltimore Wi-Fi is really questionable at this time of day. DiZ Man, are you back? I don't think he's back. Sad time. So Marcus, Fight of the Fallen. First thing I would like to talk about is something that really annoyed me about that entire night, and I don't know if you guys touched it on or not because I was working this week, so I didn't get a chance to listen to you guys' show. But I thought the addition of Taz and Jericho on commentary really took me out of the show because Taz and Jericho were so invested throughout the entire show. It made no sense that Taz is being the happy-go-lucky commentating guy.
Did you miss your mouth?
He did. His beard.
No, this thing folded a little bit. And so it almost squeaked in, and I didn't miss. I'm not dry, 100% dry.
The fact that Taz was doing commentary, and he's, I guess, selling the product of AEW, but he's really not putting over Brian Cage, who was another problem in itself. And then later, after Jericho gets the orange juice dumped on him and ruins his $7,000 jacket, he's doing commentary, and he's being extremely annoying. I just felt at this point, they really didn't bring anything to the commentating table. They actually distracted, in my opinion. Manny, how do you feel about that opinion?
I just got distracted by a comment Wes just made on in the lumber chat. The DiZ Man is worse than the dude that died at the docks. But yeah, back to your point, Eric. I didn't feel Taz was as distracting as Jericho was, because it was when you check social media, as I mentioned on Thursday with Robert Stone, where he was going on everybody's social media going, I got run over by a tank. But it was done in text form, so it wasn't as annoying. But Jericho for the remaining hour he was on was I got orange juice spilled on me for the whole way through it, and then just essentially just got his storyline with Orange Cassidy over more than anything else that was going on the show.
And that's what it felt like for me. I just felt like that they really didn't need to be on that point with them at the situation, because I was like, at the end of the day, you guys are the minor storylines in this, and Taz is a whole nother issue because Taz is actually bigger than the person that is challenging for the title because he has lost his damn mind. So speaking of titles, the first match of the night was for the TNT title. It was Cody Rhodes versus Sonny Kiss. Sonny Kiss came out with an entrance that made him seem like he was a star. And for the most part, I thought the match between him and Cody was probably one of the better matches throughout the title reign of Cody. However, I don't know where they go from here with Sonny Kiss. Marcus, what is your opinion of this match and what took place? Marcus, you just standing there?
I wanted you to think I was frozen. I'm sorry. But then I couldn't hold it to laugh long enough.
I knew you wasn't frozen.
I saw you breathing.
Yeah.
I know. Because I was trying to hold my laugh. I was about to like do everything. But anyway, where did it go with Sonny Kiss? Back in the line. Back to AEW Dark. Back to not being on TV. Back to never being used. What are you talking about? Sonny Kiss has no direction after this. This is a one-off. Same as Mark Quinn. Same as Joey Janela or whoever else Cody battles. These are all one-offs of people that are just going to stay on AEW Dark. What I can say about Sonny Kiss in this, my brother, is that Sonny Kiss showed a lot of charisma, and in the opportunity he did have, used it to the best of his ability. He needs to work on some of his ring work, but other than that, I thought this was Cody's best TV title defense, or if not, his best TV title match, even though I saw no reason for him to be frustrated throughout this match with Sonny Kiss, because he was dominating. He was whooping his ass all across the arena.
But the thing is, you bring up a point though. At the same time, Sonny Kiss was actually first of all, a person of color, something that AEW is lacking. Could be a solid singles competitor if they book him in solid matches. I don't know where they're going with Janela and him, because they had the vignette of them being a team, and the next minute, they're all in this separate matches. I just turned to you when I watched Impact. It was so much inclusion. They have every wrestler. It was almost like watching WWE. And I go to AEW, it's the same people on there every day. And then we get the ridiculous, like the Nightmare Sisters that we'll talk about later. I just don't know where we go from here. And then on top of that, you have this dissension between Arn and Cody. You have Tully watching. Like, it's something more that they're trying to do a slow build up that we don't know about yet, Manny?
It does seem like they're going towards Cody versus Shawn Spears all over again, which never really got the conclusion it should have. It just happened one match and then it was over. He hit him with a chair and they had a match and then that was it. But then he's still calling himself the chairman of AEW for no apparent reason. And then his feud with Cody Rhodes hadn't actually even established or ended.
I read someplace where you may think they're going with a feud with Shawn Spears, but in actuality, it could be maybe the reformation of the Four Horsemen, where it'll be something to effect that Cody will get frustrated with Arn, go pair up with Tully, then him and Spears, and then you have FTR, and they become like the new Four Horsemen of AEW. DiZ Man, are you here?
I'm with you.
All right, you're with us. How do you feel about the opening match with Sonny Kiss, Cody, and the possible dissension with Arn Anderson and them?
See, I did enjoy. I was a little confused by Cody's aggression. I'm not sure where that all of a sudden came from, but at the same time, I'm open to it because there's a lot of things that go on Dark that, since I don't watch it and I don't think a lot of people do, we don't. They say that there's a lot more story on Dark. So maybe something happened on Dark that ticked Cody off, or maybe Cody don't like black and gay people. I don't know. I didn't know where the aggression came. But I'm kind of curious, and also I'm curious where the the dissension between Arn and Cody came from. Why is Arn all of a sudden yelling at Cody? Why isn't Cody listening to Arn? So I'm curious what's going on.
Would you like to see possibly a reformation of the Four Horsemen with Shawn Spears, Cody Rhodes, and FTR if that happened?
I'm okay. The thing is, I wouldn't mind it, but they got to do something different than the Four Horsemen. They got to be more aggressive than the Horsemen. I don't want a retread of the Horsemen. I want they're the new Horsemen, but these cats, I want something a little bit different. I'm open to the Horsemen, but I want a little different take on it, if that makes sense.
Marcus, what about you? How do you feel about a reformation of the Horsemen?
I just feel like the show is building itself too much on nostalgia and not really trying to do anything fresh or original on their own, and that they're trying to always go back to the past and grab something. Similar to the way that they brought back Taz's FTW belt, Shawn Spears with the glove. I saw a promo in which, take a breath, brother.
You brought up the FTW title, Marcus.
I don't even know. It was just I gotta pray. So he's like, shots through the glove or whatever. They're really stuck into this nostalgia stage. And if they do something similar to the Four Horsemen, I want them to just be something different. I don't want it to be the same retread. It was like, oh, this is a knockoff Four Horsemen. Because Impact did the same thing. They did the fortune gimmick. And we seem to get countless iterations of people saying they're the next Four Horsemen, whether they're the Four Horsewomen or the Four Horsemen, or if I can say horse this many times without saying horse one more time. But yeah, without going horse. But in the game of horse, the first person that gets to the E loses.
So, since FTR is one of the teams that might possibly be associated, they had the next match following the night. It was getting their match against the Lucha Brothers. The Lucha Brothers pulled up in FTR's truck with the Butcher Blade.
Can I cut you off for a quick second?
You want to come in? Go ahead.
Can we just send the DiZ Man the audio instead of getting these random photos that look like random selfies at a time?
I mean, I could, just have a run.
There's bits where DiZ Man looks really angry when it's frozen, or like really judgmental at us.
Or really inspirational, and he looks it up. It looks like
looking up like that, and then because it's pointing at Eric, it looks like he's really angry at Eric on my screen.
It looks like a barrage of selfies. It's really distracting. It looks like a barrage of selfies, and it looks like there's gonna be a quote under there. Talk about sometimes you gotta walk forward to go backwards or something like that. Like what? What are you talking about? But you just it's like where we going with this?
So you're saying that
very distracting.
You don't like the frozen. Yeah. You don't like the frozen picture of the DiZ Man, so you rather for me to go to the camera of 3.
Yeah, the camera of 3, and then you have DiZ Man voiced over. Maybe if there was a solid image we can put right there. There's just one consistent image of saying this is Adrian or this is the DiZ Man right here in the spot. Maybe.
Mark, those are all graphics. There's all graphics that, Mark, you have to do before you start the show. But whatever. I did like seeing the picture, the frozen picture. It's like on the phone, the DiZ Man here and there. But you know what, Marcus? You're part of you know what? When the DiZ Man talk, I'll just cut to whatever random picture they have of him. So moving on.
I'm sorry. All right, we can go back to Lucha Bros and everything else. I was just saying that this is one of the most epic things. I feel like I should be doing the same thing. I'm just going like.
My question for you, Marcus. Do we assume that the Lucha Brothers and the Blade and the Butcher were hanging out with each other at the same location because they had that truck? Because I didn't understand why they could never let the truck, why didn't they call, as JR said, why didn't they call the police to get their truck back?
Because they don't want to involve the police, Eric. The Lucha, FTR is all about defunding the police. And so they're not getting the police involved. I'm sure they're on the other side of that. But, with that being said, I felt like this was, as I was thinking about them still in the car and them having this new pickup truck. Do you remember that episode of Martin when they had to share that one car they wore and they just kept fucking it up each week and everybody had a day with it?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remember that.
Yes.
I feel like that was going on with the Butcher, the Blade, and the Lucha Bros, and each time it was coming back, and it was like, damn, what's going on? Who had all this tequila in here? Oh, no, it was the Butcher. That had nothing to do. We thought it was the Lucha Bros. The Butcher fucked that car up.
Manny, I'll go to you this time. Now, this is the first time that FTR and the Lucha Brothers got into a ring against each other, and they have two contrasting styles. How did you think their first encounter with each other went?
It's good. It's not like FTR haven't had matches that people have with that type of style. But overall it was a really good match and it worked. They seemed like for what limited chemistry they may have had, they had some good ring chemistry with them.
With that being said, I actually thought this was surprisingly a solid match. I thought AEW, to my chagrin, started off very well. I liked the match with Cody and Sonny Kiss. I also enjoyed the tag match. DiZ Man, at this situation, this match, did you enjoy this match or did you not care for it?
I enjoyed it. I did. I thought it started off slow. I thought they had to feel themselves out, and I could tell that they weren't used to each other. But as it got rolling, it got better, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it.
Now the involvement afterwards, where we had.
Can I jump in?
Go ahead, Marcus.
I think I wasted my time talking about the truck most of the time.
Can I comment on that real quick? The truck.
We're gonna let Marcus go, then we'll come back to you, DiZ Man. Go ahead, Marcus.
And then I'm gonna pass it to the DiZ Man right away because I already talked about the truck. We keep talking about the match after. What about the truck?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the police have never been called in wrestling. Like, things have gotten stolen, people have gotten attacked. The police have never been called in wrestling. So it's like, you know.
What are you talking about?
Man, security is always there. Steve Austin was arrested.
What are you talking about? The police was called for Jeff Hardy a month ago.
He was.
Well, that was a real crime.
I forgot.
I know what he means, but I understand where the DiZ Man is coming from. With
Thank you.
issues like not immediate chaos. Immediate chaos, yes, they do call the police. But on theft charges, they never call anybody. Or like that time, Abyss attacked Christian in his own home, or Randy Orton attacked, or Triple H attacked Randy Orton in his home. Police weren't caught in that scenario.
Marcus,
can we charges on all these people?
Marcus, can you rephrase that? It was a time Abyss baptized Christian in his own home.
He showed him the Holy Ghost, man.
What I'm saying is police are never involved in those things when they should have been. That settles thieving in the ring with the carjacking. I understood that, but their announcers shouldn't bring up in which the guys probably have a warrant on their arrest for stealing that car. I just don't think JR overstepped when he was talking about they stole that car. But back to the match. Like Adrian said earlier, it was like it got better as it was going on. I think everybody agreed, but you could tell that they needed more time to wrestle with each other. Like they needed some house show matches or something, whatever the case may be, in which they can connect better and try to get used to each other's style and understand where it's going. It just seemed like they had maybe 20 minutes to say, "Hey man, we gotta come up with a match. I never work with you, never work with me. What you do? What you do? What you do? All right, let's try to do it. Let's find something in between. Let's find a compromise."
He probably called it in the ring too.
I just want to point out that El Luchador got me cracking up, and he said the butcher had raw meat blood all in the back of the truck. The Blade was probably doing some kinky stuff in the truck. I mean, you know when they got the truck, it wasn't looking right because you saw when Dax Hallwood tried to start his truck up, it wasn't starting up right. I was like, do you not know how to start your truck up?
Are they like a low budget Omaha Steak company?
Yeah, they are. They're these low budget. Like, I bet you their store went out of business during the pandemic era. Like, damn, man, ain't nobody coming here.
But
they're already getting a B or a C on the outside of their restaurant.
But I think my bigger question that I have is that, as everyone said in the chat room, did they only have one car? How did they get to the arena to and from after they lost their truck? Because were they Ubering? Were they getting a ride with Cody? I need to know how they get to the arena.
The Bucks gave a ride. Or Trent's mom.
So
I'm going with Trent's mom.
So now, Manny, I'm going to jump to you. Did you like the Young Bucks being the one that helped FTR get their truck back, and then Kenny comes out with a case of beer, and then FTR pours the beer on his head? Was this a segment that you liked?
Yeah, because Kenny deserved it. Kenny absolutely deserved everything that happened to him. You don't just pour a beer like that. Don't disrespect the beer like that last week. How dare you? And then let me make amends. FTR were in their right mind to pour that beer on his mop head. I
mean, for me, it looks like they bought some good craft beer, and he came out with some Miller Lite, or it might have been Bud Light.
Okay.
And I'm like, how I'm gonna come bring you a nice craft beer, maybe an IPA or something, and you poured that out, and you try to repay me back with some damn Bud Light or Miller Light? Man, I would pour that on his head too. You can't do that to me, because I believe that FTR drinks quality beer. Clearly, Kenny Omega doesn't drink the quality stuff. That's why he came out with that cheap beer. Marcus, you have something to say?
Kenny drinks.
Yeah, Kenny don't drink.
Kenny don't drink. That's why you know he brought piss. He brought piss, and he didn't know he brought piss. He just started a commercial and was like, "Oh, I could go Bud Light, or I could go Miller Light, or I could go MGD, the champagne's a beer."
Well, at least he didn't go PBR.
FTR is a dark beer drinker. They drink the dark one. They drink IPAs and Guinness and shit.
And stouts.
Broken glass IPA, like Stone Cold beer.
Yeah, they would go. They're more extreme. High level alcohol content. You don't bring me some light ass beer. Get the fuck out of here, man, Kenny. Kenny, you don't know what you're doing. This is a half-hearted part. You could have called me. You could have asked me what I wanted after you wasted my beer. I brewed that myself. I brewed that beer myself in Dax Willer's in garage. We brewed that shit.
And
you
what?
bring us this?
And he only brings 3 beers. 3.
Kenny
My
deserved
question
it.
about that scenario, though, this really angered Kenny and pissed him off and everything and showed some dissension. And throughout the night, they were advertising like the Kenny heel turn. Do you feel like 2 heel turns in one night from their prominent baby faces? Was that too much, or is it just right? Because Kenny and Cody both kind of turned heel this week.
I think it's too much. I think that you don't even have enough established faces in the company as it is. So now to take what faces that you do have, and the next thing you know, you want to make them all bad guys, just makes absolutely no sense to me. We don't even know what FTR is actually. We don't know if they're faces or heels. I mean, that's the whole problem I have with AEW. I do not know what the hell is going on. There is no continuity about anything for me. It's like shit is happening, but nothing makes any sense to me. I might be the only one. Maybe because I watch it with such hate-filled glasses on that I can't see what they're doing. But for me, I don't see anything. And I know right after this match, right after FTR and Lucha Brothers, this is when AEW started going downhill for me. And I began to hate everything that took place after this moment, except for one thing. And it was only one thing, and I'll bring that one thing up because I don't want to have this positive moment be tarnished by all the other hate I have for the rest of the night. And that's when my girl Sheeta, who's been practicing for a year, broke some English out for us and said, and I quote, "I'm ready to fight anyone." And she knew everybody was out there hurt. She was ready to take on Nyla Rose, proving the fact Nyla Rose didn't need no damn Vicky Guerrero. She was going to get the title match anyway. I'm jumping there. DiZ Man, are you happy that Vicky's back on TV?
I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah, and I'm an AEW supporter, but I really didn't care. It was like, all right, whatever. I'm curious to see where it goes, but I don't really care. It's like Vicky Guerrero, okay, whatever. All right, let's see what happens. I don't hate on it, but I don't care either.
I think this goes back to where Marcus says that they keep trying to live in the past and rehash things. And Marcus and I both said that Nyla Rose had become one of our favorites, and she was growing on us as a character. She was getting better at talking. Now you're going to take the microphone out of her hand and put it into Vicky Guerrero's hand, and she's just going to say, excuse me. And it's like, this ain't 5 years ago. We've moved past this. Marcus, why are they stuck in the past?
Well, my whole thing is, I'm okay with them bringing Vicky Guerrero back as a manager.
I was right, by the way.
I think they chose. You were right, Eric, and I'm going to give you your small golf clap. I may UPS you a cookie or something to your house just to say you got it right. Oh, but Vicky Guerrero is with the wrong wrestler. I feel like there's someone else on that roster. I know it's a very thin women's roster right now, but I'm sure it's somebody else that can use that to generate heat that she can generate heat for. Nyla Rose already had the heat. She's throwing referees through tables and hitting Sheeta with her own Kindle stick and getting title matches and cutting on promos talking about she's killing everybody in the division. I don't think she needed a manager. There's someone else in that roster. One of their very green wrestlers. I don't know because I obviously don't know who's available. I mean, whether it's Riho or Yuki Sakazaki, if they ever come back, or Abaddon,
Abaddon.
Chris Statlander. I don't know. One of these people that she can generate heat for than what she's doing. And I feel like it was unnecessary. Well, even if Sheeta needed heat, Vicky could do it. Even though I know you're proud of Sheeta speaking English, but I think you were more proud that she wasn't in the audience holding her little ass.
You damn right I was, Marcus. You damn right I was. Manny.
Eric, you also misquoted Sheeta, by the way.
I know. I don't
paraphrase.
I don't quote. I paraphrase everything so this show doesn't go 2 hours, and I still can't get it under the 2 hour period.
Because I led that into a joke that I told Marcus on the Manny and Marcus show last Thursday. which was we don't have many female wrestlers, so anyone can be the challenger. If you think you're strong enough, tough enough, and think you have enough passion, show me. I'm waiting. Which I then went to Marcus. Is it time to identify as a woman and take away the title from Cheetah?
We still have to Cheetah. We'll take the title away from Cheetah.
I don't know. I don't know.
So would you be
Manny?
if that's the case?
Ooh, Manny? Huh? Would you be
Would
Lord Woman Hayes?
No, it'd be Manuela Hayes.
Oh, okay.
The fact that he thought about this is.
Thought it up.
I like that.
You know.
Not only has he thought it out, Eric, he also has an outfit to go with the name. It's a cross between Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss.
So
I don't even know what that means, but that's what he told me.
So
no. It'd be like Ahmed Johnson. I'm gonna have my arse hanging out.
So cheeks on display, man. With that being said, I'm gonna go back to what I saw on Impact. Impact started off with this 10-man or 10-woman battle tag or whatever, and they had so many women wrestlers. I was like, how come AEW couldn't find these people? And the sad part about the one who stood out the most in that match was Kylie Ray. And they had Kylie Ray, but someone did something in that company that made her walk away, which is really sad on their part. And as you said earlier, Marcus, do you really see AEW around in 5 years? I do not know.
I didn't say that. That was Hunter. That was Hunter.
I know that's what he said, but I believe in Hunter.
Don't put that on me.
But if you believe in the demo god,
I agree with him.
If you believe in the demo god who cut his promo, and AEW once again bringing up the ratings, when they lost that week, and yes, they won this week, and they won by a lot, and y'all boy in the chat showed up again.
Pause. Fuck Chad.
I just want to point out he showed up again, and he was puffing his chest out, because they won overall. But at the end of the day, they advertised this as a special show, the Fight for the Fallen, and the show was supposed to help relief. And on paper, it was a great looking show. I watched it first. Like I said, after the Jericho spot of orange juice falling from the ceiling and Ortiz flipping and flopping around like he lost his damn mind, I was like, I just don't care. Marcus, did you like the Demo God segment?
I enjoyed him calling himself the Demo God. I thought that was very heelish. I knew he was. You feel like you knew what he was doing. That at first it was something that was him and Tony Khan defending it online, and then they got heat for it in real life. That hey, I can generate real heat on our show as a heel and call myself the Demo Guy and bringing up the ratings again. And I'm all for that. I'm all for orange juice being dumped on them and them having the top. But I just didn't need Jericho and commentary talking about it all night. I just felt it was excessive.
I feel like once the orange juice...
away forever. I don't want to hear about your $7,000 jacket. We're in a pandemic. I'm broke. I'm living off government money.
Once the orange juice got dropped on him, I think they should have pivoted and he did not go to commentary. I don't understand why Jim Ross and Excalibur couldn't carry it by themselves, because Jericho just was a ranting and raving lunatic. DiZ Man, I turn to you. Demo God,
yes.
Do you think the ratings and them mentioning the ratings is something that they should have did, or is it just part of what wrestling is nowadays?
You know what? It's not that they should have done it, but I think they did it because, and I'm going to use you as an example. It gets under people's skin. Chris Jericho is a bad guy. He's going to do something to get under your skin. So what's he going to do? Brag about something very, what's the word? It doesn't matter. He's going to brag about that just to tick you off. So I thought it was kind of cool. It's like, I'm the demo guy. The what, man? Get out of here. Yeah, I'm going in the ratings for the 18 to 40-year-olds. Man, so what? Now you mad at him. So when Orange Cassidy comes out with his orange juice, you really going to cheer for Orange Cassidy now. You be like, shut this fool up, man. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
DiZ Man, you're right. That was a good way to generate some heat in that situation. I respect that opinion. Manny, do you have anything else to add?
Wow. Did I just witness something? The DiZ Man managed to pull the hate away from Eric.
His height is 3 sizes.
The DiZ Man's a savior. He may be able to save you, Eric.
No, because
I own my own wrestling company. I know what I'm doing.
Spoiler: I got more hate on the way.
So,
hold on.
so I'm an avid fan of Imperium, and their moniker is to respect the ring mat. AEW did not AEW did not respect anything about that ring mat this week. First there was beer on it, then all this orange juice. Disrespect. I hope Walter comes and just chops the shit out of Jericho.
Oh, God.
Tired of your bullshit, Jericho. and fuck Chad.
So,
all right, I have two things to comment on this. One, Jericho's going bald like Shawn Michaels and never needs to wet his hair on TV again, because you can really see how bald he really is. It was shocking. I was like, oh man, Chris is bald. And two, do you feel like they need to? Are you 100% confident that they should be going all in with Orange Cassidy? It seems like they're all in on this. Like they're throwing Orange Cassidy is currently Steve Austin, if you think about it, on that show. If you think about it, wreaking havoc each week in the most nonchalant way. But Austin raised hell.
Well,
Orange Cassidy kind of just goes to purgatory.
If you allow me to go first, I think that Orange Cassidy might be the only thing different that no other wrestling company has. They have Orange Cassidy as his own enigma. Like, he was the #1 selling t-shirt for a reason. He is somebody who also curtailed my hate that I had for him, because he got in the ring and he delivered. I just don't know if we're going anywhere, because Jericho has already beat Orange Cassidy. Why would Jericho ever fight him up anymore?
See, and I think, sorry, man, were you going to say something?
Nope.
Okay. I think this is like Orange Cassidy. He's going to, antagonize him in his own nonchalant way to get him to fight again. That's where I see it's going to happen.
And I agree with that, but my whole thing is, I don't consider Orange Cassidy a main event player. Even though he is loved by everybody, I just feel like he's more of a mid-card act that I could get behind if he was feuding with, whoever's in their mid-card. I'm assuming the TNT title range or something, maybe around there. But I would not make him like, I know Moxley's the heavyweight champion, somewhat the face of the company, I guess. But I feel like Orange Cassidy shouldn't be fighting Jericho, who is a certified main eventer. I feel like he should just be in the mid-card. And I like his segments, but he shouldn't get hired to like Pentagon Jr.
But how many actually want to watch Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy 2? Nobody!
So Marcus, I want to piggy. Well, remember, Manny, if you remember last week, Marcus said that was the better match last week over Keith Lee and Adam Cole. But I
may be wrong, but I'll live with that wrong for the rest of my life.
But Marcus, you said something about the main event players in AEW. Who are the 3 main event players in your opinion in AEW? Like when you say main event.
That they're currently booking, or that they should be booking?
That they should be booking.
Their current guys?
No, the ones that in your opinion, who should be the main event people for AEW right now?
Well, it should be Dylan. Oh, it's off the rails. Oh, it should be Moxley.
Okay.
Cody.
And
MJF should be their 3 top main eventers right
Manny,
now.
who are your 3 main eventers for AEW?
Well, it still has to be Jericho because he draws the most attention, so you got to leave him up there.
But he's 50.
Hey, he didn't interrupt you, Marcus. Let Manny talk.
But then you got to throw in. You definitely have to throw in Mox because he's also their biggest draw. And then I would be putting not only MJF, but I would be putting Brian Cage up there because he's built like someone that should be in the main event.
All right, and DiZ Man, who is your 3 main eventers that you think they should have?
I'm gonna go with Moxley, Jericho, and I like the Brian Cage thing. I was thinking that just before you said it, Brian Cage.
So nobody considers Cody a main event guy?
No.
I mean, I think fan wise, Cody is still like he's one of their top guys.
DiZ Man, a request from Chris in the Lumber Chat. Could you show your shirt, please?
The lumber chat.
Yes, I'll do what I can. I mean, I'm on my car phone, but I'll try. Yes.
It's a Marvel.
Is that Strange? That's Doctor
Marvel
Strange.
shirt, yes. Huh?
Oh, I just
It's
see
old
Doctor
school
Strange.
Marvel shirt.
Well, for me, since I have to ask myself this question, who would I like to see pushing the AEW as the main event? This is very weird. Somebody that impressed me a couple of weeks ago, and he has size, and he's associated with MGF. I think Wardlow, you might could do something. He's different. He's big. You know, I think if you would put Wardlow in the situation where you had Brian Cage at with Taz, I think Wardlow would probably been a better person to do that. And Manny, you could cover up your camera because you're throwing up in your mouth right now. It's okay.
I can't believe you chose Wardlow.
I did.
Wardlow was his number one. His number one on that list.
I can't believe Wardlow's
Manny.
Like, what about like this Brian Cage, who is just he falls in the category now.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Because my list is not numeric order for where I see him at, but it's also because it's going to let me segue to someplace else. Number 2 is Jon Moxley, because I think Jon Moxley is the bigger name, but they haven't figured out what to do with him. And the last person who, for whatever reason, was one of the biggest free agents in wrestling. That was Kenny Omega. And now he is a chump that can't even get past Marco Stunt, where Marco Stunt takes him to a limit in the match where to the point where Kenny Omega has to become a bad guy and throw some extra blows on Marco Stunt because Marco Stunt got him. Kenny Omega has failed this city. And I'm just so disgusted when I saw the Elite versus Jurassic Express. I said, why is this match happening? And why is the Jurassic Express taking the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega to the limit? It made no sense to me, and it made me throw up in my mouth multiple times. DiZ Man, you're laughing. Maybe you can defend this and take me off this mountaintop that I'm at.
I told y'all before we went on air I was going to be an AEW defender, and I'm going to defend this because, simply put, they underestimated Jurassic Express. And Jericho said it. That's why Kenny had the shirt on. He didn't take Marco Stunt seriously. He's like, this little boy ain't nothing but 3 minutes tall. I can take him. And then Marco Stunt beat him up, and Jericho had to come out the shirt. So that's why he was like, this little punk embarrassed me. Oh no, he got to get the fisticuffs. And the Bucks was like, whoa, man, chill. That's why
I understood that.
That's
DiZ
why
Man, I understood. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. But at the same time, it's going to turn Kenny Omega heel because now people are like, you picking on little Marco Stunt? What's wrong with you, man? Come on, dog. And that's what's going to catapult Kenny to the Japanese version of Kenny that we, came to love. That's just my take.
Anyway, I'm just going to interpret it this way. I understand where you're coming from. As Jericho said, Kenny ain't taking it serious. He ain't taking his shirt off. I understood that. But when he took his shirt off, he ended up begging for his life. He was still on the ground like, hold up, wait a minute. He was the cleaner. He fought Okada for 60 minutes. He fought Tanahashi. He fought all these greats, and they put him to a limit. He does V-trigger after V-trigger on these guys. Marco Stunt took a V-trigger and got up. Didn't phase Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt has been beat by everybody.
Yeah.
I think Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela done got something in Marco Stunt. Nyla Rose even beat Marco Stunt's ass. But Kenny Omega, the best bout machine, as he was known as, the hottest free agent, the best wrestler in the world at a given time, was getting mollywopped by Marco Stunt.
And Marcus.
But you know what? This is going to bring out the best bout machine now, I think, because he took this little joker. He didn't take him seriously, and now it's like, okay, I got.
I'm sorry, I still got to jump in there. I'm sorry.
No, but I gotta say what Mark. Hold up, Marcus.
The Young Bucks, the best tag team in the world, are struggling with Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy and a Luchasaurus. I'm not even calling him Luchasaurus.
But you know what it is, and it's all in the name of the company. All Elite Wrestling. Everybody's elite.
No, not everybody's created equally. I'm sorry. If I hit Marco Stunt,
everybody's elite.
If
I would never see the Road Warriors struggle with the Bushwhackers.
Like,
I would never see that.
I knew that. I'm sorry.
Let me say this. Marco Stunt kicking out the V trigger is like Barry Horowitz kicking out the Tombstone Power Driver. Like you just discredit the V trigger. Like if Kenny Omega,
DiZ Man, you can't Gorilla Monsoon him like he's Bobby the Brain.
Let me just tell you.
I was on the show. I'm usually listening, so this is when I listen. I'm sorry.
But let me point out to you, in this situation, Marco got the V trigger and he kicked out. So now the next person that gets the V trigger and doesn't kick out, if it's Brian Cage, if it's the Murder Hawk, if it's Wardlow, they're less of a man than Marco Stunt. And that's why that V trigger has been ruined. I can't take that move seriously anymore. I just can't.
Can I agree partially with you? I feel like it's not the Tombstone, it's the choke slam.
Yeah, because the Kenny's finisher is the One Ring Angel. Let's clarify, the One Ring Angel did put out Marco Stunt.
Right.
It did.
So
But
it's like Barry
the
Horowitz
V
kicking
trigger,
the choke slam.
I can agree with you on that one. Now we can switch moves. But even Barry Horowitz would know, I would stay down. If you want to do more damage to Barry Horowitz, you got to lift that head up. And that's 2 count. I ain't done with you yet.
I mean,
Marco Stunt, he kicking out.
I mean, that's why Adam Page was back there drinking at the bar with FTR like, man, this fool came and put this little kid out with a V trigger. I was like, why is this my partner? And then you think that the show can't get any worse. You think it just can't go any deeper. And DiZ Man, I'm gonna hold you. I don't think you can defend this next segment because the next segment was a tag team match that had no type of repercussions or anything on the line. I'm not gonna even talk about the team that won, but we had MJ Jenkins, someone who was released from WWE, who has a very distinct look, teaming up with Kenzie Page, going against 2 people who have mainly said that they don't want to team together. They don't like each other. They don't trust each other, but yet they're teaming up with each other. They're calling themselves the Nightmare Sisters, showing that they have some type of relation, and it's just another excuse to get Brandy and Allie on television, and they suck. They suck. Simple as that. Suck. DiZ Man.
Maybe that's why they on TV show. Maybe that's why.
I don't know.
I see what you did there. That's funny.
But seriously, and I can't
Cody would know.
I can't defend it, but I feel like they said something like they've been doing stuff on Dark with it. So that's why I can't defend it, because I don't watch
DiZ
Dark
Man,
like that.
they are 4-0.
Right.
And they're teaming up. But their team, no, the one that they got on Dynamite made them 4-0. They're fighting on a special event show called Fight for the Fallen. This is not a regular episode of Dynamite. They're 4-0 for no titles that exist. There is no tag team women's title. There is no reason for them to be teaming up with each other in wrestling. It's just that I don't like you. I don't need to do a show with you. Simple as that. I don't. And then you have Dustin out there, like, holding up their... It drove me crazy. Marcus, you're laughing at me because you see my irate. I'm not getting over it, Manny. I'm not.
I like that.
I see the vein sticking out of your head, Eric.
Because I'm not even at that full peak, man. I'm not over 9,000. I'll be over 9,000 in the next segment because it's the last segment.
Eric, wait. Get your blood pressure down.
Yeah.
Relax, brother, relax.
No, maybe call your doctor, Eric. No, maybe call your doctor.
Because if we're going on about anything, this is just basically brought back one thing: toilet break matches, where you need to bring down that momentum because they're supposed to be having this momentous main event tonight, which didn't do anything for me in the first place. But that's playing Monday morning quarterback there. But it was to bring that, the idea probably was to bring down the momentum for this garbage match, because it was garbage. So you'd get hyped up for whatever was going to happen in the main event. That didn't happen, but it did. But that was probably the idea.
Well,
Manny, can I chime in? And here's where I have to disagree with my co-host and agree with my brother and co-host and the irateness. One, this is the most circumcising mosquitoes segment to ever scrutinize in my life. We are. But I have to do it anyway as well. This match didn't need to happen. Manny, a cool-down match and a restroom break match are for the people in the arena. We have nobody in that arena that we're catering to. We have no large crowds. If you need to go to the bathroom, it takes 2 minutes. Go take your piss and come back. There's no reason. There was no reason to have this match. It could have been done to establish anybody else. Anybody else. Maybe give MJF a promo or talk to Adam Page, let him cut a promo, or hell, let the private party talk.
Marcus,
I don't care.
Marcus,
just give somebody
Marcus,
else time.
Marcus,
we didn't need this.
Marcus.
And I'm going to tell you what the number one problem with this segment is, and the reason that nobody's brought up, the number one problem is, and the DiZ Man alluded to it on AEW Dark that they had this match. Eric brought up, they 3-0 on AEW Dark. Show me a goddamn recap of them winning. Show me why they're teaming together. Give me some backstory. Don't throw me no random ass segment in the middle of their storyline or the middle of an AEW fighter fans falling or the dynamites, whatever they call this. Don't give me all that. And then when you give it, you do come to conclusions of why are they teaming together and why are they beating up MJ Jenkins and why are they happy to get victories. There is no tag team titles. Why does Dustin not like Allie? We have none of this, no backstory whatsoever. They just threw a goddamn match on the TV.
And what makes matters worse, it wasn't even a cool down match. It wasn't even a cool down match. But Marcus, I wanna jump back because I have hate. But the V trigger now to me,
I want to come back because I have hate.
Yeah, Marcus, the V trigger.
No, hold on. Say one more thing though. This is the only tag match they've done that didn't have a tope. Just saying.
Well, Marcus,
or any kind of dive. I'm happy about that.
You're right, Marcus. The V trigger now is equivalent to the Destroyer for me. After it couldn't take out Marco's stunt, because if you don't sell the Destroyer, you won't sell the V trigger, and that's where I'm at
The
that.
V trigger isn't a finisher.
It's close enough.
No, it isn't.
It should finish off Marco's stunt.
Kenny did about 20 V triggers to Okada in those matches.
But that's Okada.
That's Okada. That's Okada though.
And Kenny Omega's offense in pretty much Japan was V-trigger 10,000 times in a match, and then that was it, and then hit the One-Wing Angel. That was all he did. And people were like, oh, look, Kenny Omega. Shut up.
All right. Woj Bomb. I don't like Marco's stunt.
More than just V-triggers.
I don't like Marco's stunt. Simple as that.
Woj is suspended, Eric. You sure you want to go down that route?
You damn right. Because you know what? Woj told that senator, fuck you. And I agree with Woj. Fuck you, senator. fuck Marco's stunt, too. Shit. I mean, but...
You know what, Dale? You know what, Dale? Fuck you, too.
With that being said... Manny was trying to say that this Nightmare Sister match was a cool down match. It wasn't, because it didn't lead straight to the main event. Because that's right after this match, we got the announcement of Vicky being the manager for Nyla Rose that we already discussed. But now, let's talk about the motherfucking main event. Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage, who's supposed to be the machine, supposed to be the monster, who is now the FTW champion. And let me talk about this FTW championship. I don't know anything about this championship. However, I understand 20 to 25 years ago, it pretty much set the standard in ECW because it was the Renegade Championship because they wouldn't give Taz a shot. I really felt that AEW took an opportunity of a title that did not many people didn't know back from the past, and they gave us a hot shot version of it, and then they put it on a simp, a person who didn't deserve the title. When he got the FTW title, he looked at it like it was a box of cookies. If this title is as badass as it's supposed to be, he should have been a man with it. And then let's also talk about the fact that Taz is bigger than Brian Cage when it comes. Like, Taz is a star. I wore my Brock Lesnar shirt today just to point out the fact.
I thought you were gonna say like in size, but Taz is just fat.
Yeah, well, no, but when you
weighs more than Brian Cage.
but when you see Taz talking,
Brian Cage is tall.
Brian Cage is not doing anything to stand out. He is not the main star. He's like the third star. He's like a V-trigger. He's not a finishing move. And I never thought for a second he was gonna be any good. And then quite frankly, this is supposed to be the Renegade Championship. This is the Badass Championship. And then you're gonna tell me the Badass Champion can't take a fucking armbar? An armbar? You gonna throw a towel in on an armbar? And then hold on, I'm not finished yet. So the towel gets thrown on an armbar because apparently Moxley has worked over that repaired bicep so much, and announcers want us to believe that he needs to protect that shoulder and all that. But then right after it, when Brian Cage decides to beat up Moxley, he started throwing punches with the bicep that was messed up. So if he was that hurt, he couldn't throw. He shouldn't be. Go ahead, Marcus.
I'll let the DiZ Man go in the fifth. Since I want to counteract. I need a cool down analysis before I go into my yelling after you went to your yelling, and the DiZ Man will be the lighter head and be able to give an explanation of everything that you said. I feel like that works better.
Sorry, I have rage in my heart.
When do you not have rage in your heart?
Okay.
You should be a metal singer, Eric.
Okay. Brian Cage
DiZ Man, did you hold on? Did you roll down your window? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I mean I don't want you to die in the car.
No, I'm good.
All right.
So anyway, okay, so Brian Cage didn't tap out. Taz threw in the towel to prevent him from getting hurt even further. That's why he was able to throw the punch, because no damage had really happened. He was like, this cat ain't getting out of this armbar. We throw in the towel. We're gonna get a title shot another day, and it protects Brian Cage because he didn't tap, and he probably wasn't going to tap. So he's tough. You're gonna have to break my arm, and Taz is like, no, we're not. We're gonna protect you. You my investment, and I need you. So let's just live to fight another day, as they say.
That doesn't calm me down.
Oh, I wasn't trying to calm you down.
Oh, okay. Manny, because I'll let Marcus be the finale. I'll let Marcus be the finale. Manny, so what about you in this closing segment? I mean, this was the match that we waited for.
Yeah, I wasn't waiting for it. I knew it was going to be trash from the get-go. No John Moxley match ever excites me. Like, the only match that that happened, and then I could go, yeah, that was a good match, was his match with Kenny Omega. But other than that, nothing excites me about John Moxley. And this was just further proof that he's probably on par, the same level of champion as Braun Strowman.
Ooh. Wow.
Ooh, wait, whoa. You sure you want to go down that route?
Just because he gave the promo of his life on SmackDown does not disregard the last 100 and whatever days it's been that he's been champion.
I'm not defending Braun Strowman. I'm trying to defend Moxley. Here. You don't call nobody no Braun Strowman title reign. That's the most paper champion, transitional champion in the history of transitional champions of all time.
Okay. So what's John Moxley done in the last however months he's been champion?
He got COVID.
He's been John Moxley. He proved that he's still a draw by outdrawing Io and Tegan Knox this week. John Moxley was a draw. He proved by not being on Fyter Fest that NXT dominates in the ratings without him. I'm just saying, I'm not calling him Braun Strowman. I'm not 100% defending him as a champion. I won't go that route, but I'm not calling him Braun Strowman. That is the low of low for me. That's champion curse.
Braun Strowman.
But then we also go into the whole throwing the towel in. For me, it makes absolutely no sense to throw the towel in.
You get to go again?
Oh, I thought you went. Go.
I didn't win at all.
Go, Marcus.
Twice? You get to show your rage twice? Let me show the world my rage, all right?
Go ahead, Marcus.
Goku call up for a spear bomb. I'm calling for the hater bomb.
Come on, Marcus. Hey.
All the haters. And let me tell you why I'm against this finish. And DiZ Man, you brought the point. It was the finish was for to protect Brian Cage, so he didn't tap. I would have rather seen the man tap over the shoulder thing than to see my manager fearing for my man's life. He was scared for my man's life. He was like, his career is over. The secret is out. You go for Brian Cage's arm, it is over. And Rocky, when Apollo was getting his ass destroyed, and that manager screamed, just throw in the damn towel. That's what I got from that. A towel being thrown in and someone getting beat to the inch of life. Now, you can argue that protected him. Protection would have been Brian Cage reacting in a way of somebody in any fight have I seen in sports when they throw in the towel. It's just, they're upset that you threw in the towel.
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah, right. Get it right, Marcus. Preach, brother. Preach. Preach, brother.
But I was getting ready to pick his ass up with my broken arm and throw him and my arm into the stands.
Preach.
I had him.
Preach.
And even though you are full of shit and you knew you were about to get your arm broke, your reaction should have been anger. And then after going to task, he could have went and swung at Moxley and directed his anger. But I feel like doing that little motion of being like, what you doing to for? I had him where I wanted him. It kind of takes away, it makes it look like, man, my kid getting his ass beat. I'm done. Shit, he ain't worth the money. That's what it took away from me. And then the fact that he just throws those punches and gets those arms. Oh, the thing that bugged me the most about the arm bar was when Moxie had him in the arm bar with one arm and flicking off pads at the same time. I was like, what are those muscles for? You should be stronger than this man, this flabby old man. You should be stronger than him. You have all these steroids in you. You should be able to get off the arm bar if he's holding it with one hand and flicking off your man's tabs.
I'm just saying.
I feel like it made him look weak, and then when Darby comes out after becoming the Undertaker, it made him look double weak. Because Darby came out and took him out.
Let me point out.
They're going to transition, and they took the opportunity to put Brian Cage in the title picture, and they put him back into the mid card with Darby Allin.
So pretty much, AEW has done what they've done with all their new toys that they've gotten. They got Brody Lee. Brody Lee became a chump. They got the Murder Hawk. The Murder Hawk became a chump, and now they have now they have Brian Cage, and now he's a chump for multiple reasons. As Marcus said, he's more of a bitch than a bitch because once your manager, I said it though.
You put words in his mouth.
That's slander. That is a blatant slander in my face. Marcus the Grand Fanatic quote, he's more of a bitch than a bitch.
Well, fine.
Brian Cage. I didn't say that.
Fine. Eric the Hater says that Brian Cage is more of a bitch than a bitch, and I will fight him with his bitch ass muscles because he could do nothing with it. First, as you said, one of the worst arm bars I've ever seen in all of wrestling history. He needs to go to Thatcher School for arm bars. Second, after Taz threw in the towel, you not shoving Taz's fat ass down for throwing that, or at least calling him a motherfucker. You're not even mad that you lost. And third, and the final point is, you were held back by AEW officials who have shown to be the weakest and most inept officials in all of wrestling business. He couldn't even get past those guys to get to the ring of Darby Allin and Jon Moxley, proving that he was still more of a bitch than a bitch because he didn't want none. He didn't want it.
But you know what? And I think Taz, and this is just me, this is how I would book it. I think Taz is going to use this later. Taz is probably going to say the same things you said, and that's going to fire up Brian. I think that's going to be what fires up Brian Cage. To be like, he put that weak armbar on you, you couldn't get out of it. What you got muscles for? Taz is going to call him out. Taz is like, I had to throw in the towel for you. So I think that in the future, Brian Cage is going to be, going to have to prove himself to Taz, and that's where he's going. When he fights Darby Allin, that's when that's going to come out. That's just my way of thinking.
But when I compare Brian Cage to a wrestler, the Brian Cage Taz connection, who I compare them to is of course Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. I could never see Paul Heyman doing the things that Taz doing of going, one, have the nerve to go up to Brian Cage and call him a bitch and be like, you were getting your ass pumped by Brock Lesnar. Like, I can feel like Taz could do that to Cage and get away with it, but Paul Heyman would go up to Brock Lesnar and say that, bah, It's like,
That's
shut up,
because Paul
Paul.
Heyman's just an advocate.
No, it's more Bobby Lashley MVP. Because
Okay.
MVP would have the balls to call out Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like their relationship is more cool like that. Like, I feel like Taz, who is not ever going to get punched or anything or get handled in this feud or anything, he at some point somebody's going to lay his hands on him because he's talking too much.
Yeah.
He's talking too much of a big game.
I don't think Taz can take a bump, and that's my big issue for him. Like, you can't be getting up into people's faces and you can't take a bump because now you're just like you're making other talent look weak. For example, when that point where Taz got into the face of John Moxley, like John Moxley can't do anything at that point if he can't take a bump. Someone need to knock Taz's ass on the ground, or he need to go back to the commentating booth. And as to your point, Adrian, I don't think that Brian Cage is going to be the FTW champion for much longer. I think that belt is going to go to Darby Allin. I think it goes to the whole thing when Taz was trying to recruit him to begin with, and then you get his little vignettes where he's on this renegade shit of like doing skateboards and jumping off on fire. It seems like that title fits better with him than it would ever fit with Brian Cage, who should go someplace and disappear.
I can see that.
I agree. I agree with that. That's a good take.
But it doesn't make any sense to give him the FTW title beforehand now. It makes less sense now that he has the FTW title, given that he threw the towel in for him.
Well, the thing is that I'm assuming we're going to get some form of dissension between Brian Cage and Taz next week. If you recall, and you have to go back into the AEW history library, originally Taz was trying to recruit Darby Allin, but Darby Allin didn't want his assistance. I mean, maybe we can have a little bit more history with the FTW title. I don't know.
You know, and normally I don't like to book shit because I don't think of myself as a wrestling booker. I'm more of a fan, and I hate when people go online, well, maybe they should do this, and then so-and-so should come out and do this, and I hate doing that. But I feel like the way they could have booked this finish to show save face is just put the heat over the ref and say, I didn't want to see any more damage happen to that arm, or my man, this dude gets injured and his career's in jeopardy, so the ref calls it off. If the ref calls it off, you can have Taz complain at the ref, you can have Cage upset the ref, and you can have them, you know, because he has the F the world title, saying, I'm getting screwed, I am the true champion, this is the real championship, and if it wasn't for that punk-ass ref worried about my safety, then it would have been, I feel like would have protected him more than Taz being like, I'll throw my little orange towel in there.
Well,
I've been wiping sweat off my head all day.
For me, the situation, I just felt that if you're going to have Darby Allin get involved in the match, you could have had Darby Allin got involved in the match. For the simple reason, he got beef with Brian Cage as it is already. I don't understand why we had to go with the whole throw the towel in thing. I don't know. But that was AEW pretty much. Is there anything else people want to have because Manny is in the chat?
I refuse to talk about AEW anymore, including the Manny and Marcus show. It's been almost an hour and 40 minutes on AEW. I'm tired of AEW.
Hour and 17 minutes.
Manny just threw the towel on AEW.
Manny,
He's doing the towel.
I told everybody I had a bunch of hate in my heart for AEW, and I was gonna let the hate out. I don't have much hate for anything else.
Next week, I'm setting a timer for 20 minutes, and if it's over before you even get to the main event, I'm not talking about AEW anymore.
That's fine. Then it'll be just me and Marcus again talking about like the old Sharpshooters, Manny. It'll be the untitled Eric and Marcus show.
Oh, mutual hate.
Yeah.
But back to the AEW. One word. I just felt like they've been building to this box and cage match. It seemed like it was more upsetting that it just didn't have a finish. Maybe after all this time that they're building towards, this match, it seemed like it was something that this should have been like a finish show. I know it's not a full paid-for pay-per-view, but it just seemed like there was going to be some type of real finish to this, not like a cop-out finish.
Manny, I know you said that you don't want to talk. I just have one more question for you in regards to AEW. As we watched the suplex reversal match between Brian Cage and John Moxley, do you think if that match actually took place on Fyter Fest instead of having Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho in the main event, that could have beat NXT in the ratings?
It might have, because like AEW marks fucking love them some AEW. That's all it would be. It'd be people like fucking Chad all over like the AEW. Fuck Chad. I fucking hate Chad.
With that being said, I think the reason why NXT lost this week in the ratings is because they absolutely didn't advertise a goddamn thing for this week's show. Like, all we had was we had Tegan Knox and Io and Damian Priest and Cameron Grimes. I'm sorry if that's what you were advertising. Ain't nobody watching. We didn't get a title match until slow talking Keith Lee came out there and wanted to thank everybody about his uprising and things, and you know, and then he called out his boy Dominic Dijakovic, and once again we got another match between them, which it made sense, but it took Keith Lee too damn long to get his point out. It was Keith Lee was like me talking about AEW in that ring just forever. Marcus, do you agree with that?
Yeah, Keith Lee needs to show some, like, I don't know, his promo was more like, and then I had a match with Adam Cole, and I won the title.
No,
and
do you know what it was?
Got there without this guy over here, who you can't see, some guy that helped me, and another guy who I think, in a matter of fact, think, push me to that next level.
You know the only problem with it was you didn't use enough big words. That's the only problem.
I know.
I must eloquently divulge the information that I am passing forth unto you, the audience here at the NXT arena. Something along those lines.
He sounds like a straight up nerd giving a PowerPoint presentation to me.
Yeah, like
Man, you seem like you were going to say something in that situation, so I'm going to stop Marcus.
It's basically like a child telling you a story, giving you the and then, but with an old man's voice.
And then,
with an old man's voice. It was so long. Like, get to the fucking point, Keith.
Did they tell him to stretch for time, or it was just like, come on, man? Like, you look happy. I appreciate you look happy, but I need a killer. I need a killer talk about I'm the fucking man right now. That's what I need. You will never see LeBron James celebrate like that. When you try to use big words, be able to articulate his emotions. That's what Keith Lee did. He was able to articulate his emotions. I don't need articulation when you just become crown champion. I need overjoyed, made up words like I've used.
But the funniest thing is that although it took him a long way to get to where he was going, and Dijakovic finally came out, and then when he challenged him to fight him for both titles, Dijakovic looked like he wasn't ready to accept the match. He's like, hey, what you doing? I mean, for what it was worth.
I just ate a giant cake. I ain't ready to wrestle.
I still got my street clothes on. I ain't here to fight.
I honestly just came up to pick up my shit. I didn't honestly come here to do nothing. When they started fighting, it was just, I thought it was two big men making love and celebrating his match. It was beautiful.
I saw this match like 4 months ago. I didn't need to see it again.
No,
it's just a repeat of their massive feud they had like months ago, and nothing new happened. I was like,
I agree with Lord Manny in this situation. We knew what the outcome was, but at the end of the day, it made sense because you are letting Keith Lee get a victory that he needed, and it led to a storyline when Scarlett came down to the ring, and I believe that was the broken hourglass she brought down to the ring that Keith Lee broke back a couple of weeks ago, which I appreciate going back to shit that happens.
Continuity, something you never get in WWE. You say continuity, Vince McMahon, and he'll throw you out. He'll throw you out. Nobody said a bad word. Nobody remember that shit. Nobody remember he broke that clock.
But then after Scarlett does that, we get a backstage segment where Dijakovic is being interviewed, and next thing you know, Karrion Kross shows up. Was like, "I'm gonna fight you next week," and Dijakovic was like, "Man, I wasn't even ready this week." Then they brawled in the back, and my favorite part was that Kross was trying to take off his tie, but he couldn't take it off, and he finally just gave up when he saw that Dijakovic was dead from the backdrop.
I killed him. I didn't realize that glass was there. I guess we ain't fight next week, and you may never see me again because I'm on the run.
So DiZ Man, I turn to
I
you.
got warrants.
The whole segment between Lee, Dijakovic, Cross, Scarlett, did you think it was executed well, or could they had improved on it? I threw it to DiZ Man, but I think he froze up.
No. I just didn't know who you threw it to. I didn't want to step on no toes. For the most part, I liked it. I just kind of wish that, I feel like Dijakovic could have done better if he had been prepared. Because like you said before, when he came out, he had his street clothes on. Like, he had his clothes. It looked like he just got to the arena and set his bag down and asked somebody, what y'all up to? What y'all do this weekend? And then, he's calling me. Oh, okay, all right. Well, here I go. Play my music. But the Karrion Kross aspect, I like that. Because like you said, and like we all said, continuity. She came out with the broken clock and like, you did this, you gonna pay for it. The only thing I didn't like, and this is very small, and this is just me nitpicking, was that Keith Lee beat Dijakovic in his old tights. You're a champion, man. You got to wear some better tights than the Smurf blue tights, man. Come on, man. You got to step your game up.
He need to come on the suit, or he gonna get beat by the best dressed man in the game, Karrion Kross. Manny, exactly. I turn to you. We saw that.
Hold on, I gotta jump in. He's not the best dressed man in the game.
You're right, Marcus.
Tom Phillips was still sitting at that table. Tom Phillips decided to overdress for this show today.
Hey, Marcus.
I don't know what show he thought he was
Marcus,
at. Like he was at the Academy Awards or some shit.
Marcus,
he goes at the Met Gala
Marcus,
or some shit.
Tom Phillips was not the only one that was really well dressed. The Legado del Fantasma at their estate, when they were talking about the legacy, they were dressed very well too. Those are my boys right there. But we're not there yet. Manny, you didn't want Dijakovic in this match. Was there someone else available in the back for Keith Lee to get this win against?
Do you know what? I get it that you needed to have Dijakovic. It pushed the needle. I doubt no one was at the back for that match. But like, you could have brought someone from Raw or SmackDown to like challenge him or something. But I want next week for Scarlett, because she's already given him the broken glass. I want to come with the sand. I want to throw it in someone's eyes.
He just reached into her pocket and pull out a handful of sand and just put it on the match.
All right, Marcus. Well, go ahead.
I feel like this story, and I brought up Rocky again. This was Rocky 3, in which Apollo and Rocky decides to have their exhibition match behind closed doors, but so we got to see it, and they were like ding ding, and they have their match, and then they freeze and have that fight. We didn't need to see Dijakovic and Keith Lee fight. We just knew that they get along now and everything's cool. But the setup for next week, Rocky 4, is when Karrion Kross just kills Dijakovic. Is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
he kills him, and then with the hourglass, as you brought up. Scarlett throwing the sand in Keith Lee's face. I don't think she needs to throw it in Keith Lee's face. You threw that shit in Mia Yim's face, and then you beat her ass. Scarlett beats the garbage out of Mia Yim.
Well, Marcus, the problem with that, they don't want to fight Swerve Scott because Swerve Scott is protecting Mia Yim nowadays. So I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen in that situation.
That's exactly who they should have brought out. Swerve.
Yeah. So
yeah, but do you believe Swerve is a real? Like, he would have got. I feel like I like Swerve, but if he was in the ring with Keith Lee, Keith Lee would eat him and forgot that he ate him and eat something else later.
Swerve touched the woman. You got to figure
So,
man, what you doing defending my woman? You talking about girl? What do you think you are, huh?
So,
and then, look out like he's short.
I think we all agree.
Your hands away from my woman.
That was a very good Keith Lee. But I think we all agree.
He make even get away. Get your damn hands away from my voluptuous woman, my Nubian princess.
Wow. With that being said, I think we're all tired of Dijakovic and Lee. But I have a question for you guys. Are you tired of Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes? Because now they're one for one.
Cameron Grimes, I'm going to the moon.
And Marcus, I know you hate Cameron Grimes with all your heart, but you have to admit they had a really good match, and Damian Priest was the right one to win this match. Marcus, do we get the rubber match?
I'm sure we're going to get some rubbers in this match, but it was ridiculous. I don't know why that came in my head, but I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was my favorite Cameron Grimes match to date, and maybe even be my second favorite Damian Priest match. They told a good story. It's been a nice budding rivalry. Do I think it's the end? Maybe they may have one more, but it probably should be the end. And I think Priest needs to go after that North American title from Keith Lee.
DiZ Man, do you agree with Marcus?
What was the question?
Do you agree with Marcus that Damian Priest needs to move on from Cameron Grimes and go after that North American title?
Yeah, it's time for Damian Priest to move on. You know, him and Keith been going back. Him and Cameron been going back and forth. It's time to move on.
And Manny, I turn to you. You look like a disgusted Englishman. What has grind your gears?
Disgusted?
Yes, you look like you're just tired of this shit. Like the AEW segment just took everything from you. All your joy has been snatched.
NXT is halfway done, and we've been on it for 10 minutes. AEW an hour.
No, NXT was a more enjoyable show, yet we're spending less time on it, which I feel is a disrespect.
Because there's no hate. Everything made sense on this show.
But I want Cameron Grimes to be the next North American champion because I want Cameron Grimes to go to the moon.
You know what? I'm glad you're on the bandwagon, Manny. I don't know if you're being serious, but I'm going to take that as being serious because Cameron Grimes, I told you, Marcus, watch out for that boy right now. The little hat.
Cameron Grimes cost you your DSPN championship.
It's okay. You guys cost me.
Now who looks disgusted?
You guys cost me the championship.
I thought of The Rock, but that has nothing to do with my title.
But it doesn't matter.
Like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to point out this is episode 700. All the technical difficulties made me forget. With that being said, a match that you guys decided to skip when you guys talked about NXT on Thursday, and I felt that it was a disservice because you guys could at least gave it a brief mention. That was Indy Hartwell getting her very first victory on NXT television over Shotzi Blackheart, thanks to the help of Robert Stone and Aaliyah. DiZ Man, I turn to you because you shook your head in disgust, I think. Were you not happy that
everybody shaking their head in disgust?
Were you not happy that Indy Hartwell got that win?
It's not that I minded the win. It just, the whole match, I really wasn't feeling the whole match. It just felt like they were going through the motions, and it didn't pick up until Robert Stone hobbled his happy hips on that there. And what's his face? What's the girl that? Oh, Aaliyah. When she distracted him. That's kind of what I felt. It was like a space filler. It was kind of the NXT version of the Nightmare Sisters match.
Nope.
Until,
don't disrespect it like that.
I'm going there, bro.
You know why? Know why you can't disrespect that? Because she ran over him with a tank. It's a reason why he got hate.
No, but I'm saying as a whole, not the purpose behind the match, just the match itself. It's like it just felt like they were going through the motions until Robert Stone came out.
It definitely was a cool down match, but I mean, Hartwell got her first win. You know, she don't have the best big boot in the game, but you know, Billie Kay didn't have it either, but she could keep working, and one day it might be there.
Does have the best boot in the game and the best throw punch. By the way, Indy Hartwell is the worst Aussie in the game. She's the worst Aussie in the game.
Wow.
Of all these Australian wrestlers, she's the worst. I mean, it's high standard. You got the Iconics. You got what's his name? Tanel.
Tony Storm.
You have Tony Storm, and you have Rhea Ripley. You have all these Aussies. Indy Hartwell is the bottom of the barrel of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's right.
I'm really on board with the building of this Robert Stone brand. It seems like this story is coming together, as if they planned it this way, of this makeshift riffraff of people who decide to team up together. If Indy Hartwell joins Robert Stone, I'm all for it. But also, if Killian Dane joins him, I'm also for it. Because Robert Stone gives them these people what they haven't had. Entertainment. He gives them a voice.
I just love how all of Dexter Lumis's match happens because some artwork that he drew and it made people pissed, and the whole thing.
I can't do shit. That's what he should be like.
The whole thing was he went to Robert Stone, was like, make this happy. Manny, I know you don't care about this match. Do you want to talk about at least Robert Stone and Killian Dane, or should we just move on to the bet?
You know what? I really enjoy when Robert Stone's on TV. Like, it's actually really funny. It's a sour taste in my mouth when I see Aaliyah.
I know.
Aaliyah is the best jobber in the game. Okay? She's still in her youth. One day, she's gonna rise to mid card of the main roster.
Never will
It's
that
a
happen.
caterpillar
Never.
that has yet to enter into her chrysalis.
All right, Keithley, thank you.
Into a what?
Her chrysalis.
I don't know. Her chrysalis. That was exotic. That's what Keith Lee be sounding like. He should be reading those fantasy women. The fantasy women. I don't know what they actually call it. They're probably just romance novels, but the fantasy ones.
She took her hand and cascaded it down his ample chest.
Wow.
Which goes back to our storyline and porn comment. But anyway, continue.
That's how I know you narrate erotic fiction.
With that being said, let's talk about my favorite match.
Hold on, the AWO Big Time Players episode 2. Erotica.
No,
as
Erotica.
as he caressed her ample bosom.
Wow. There's no way I can go into
A shutter tickles his neck and he goes, I'm finished.
Gentlemen,
My darling, I have arrived.
let's have some decorum, please. Let's have some decorum, please.
Okay.
Because I need to talk about my favorite match this week in all of wrestling. This was my favorite match. It was Timothy Thatcher going against Denzel DiJarnett. They got in there and they were just going. DiJarnett tried to show Thatcher he had something in him. At the end, Thatcher got the win. I am not narrating a porn chat room because this is the worst porn chat room because there ain't no women in here and I'm not a part of that.
Wes, to be honest, he's not narrating. He's hosting a porn chat room.
Marcus, for episode 700, did you enjoy this Thatcher match with your boy DiJarnett?
I enjoyed it to a point where I thought this was one of the best matches of the week because of the potential it can have for Denzel DiJarnett. Not only did he get an intro and he enters the alumni of Leon Ruff, the unofficial Sharpshooters wrestling, from the word jump, Ruff from the day one. That's gonna be a shirt we should sell. Ruff from day one.
Well, Marcus, we actually have to sell a shirt first before we can say we sold a shirt.
Oh, the Ruff shirt? That's gonna sell. Because it's a Ruff shirt. Ruff from day one. Oh.
Take it.
I don't even know what I was saying. Oh. I enjoyed this match because DiJarnett showed a lot like his, I guess, amateur background in wrestling. And I think he needs to join the school of Thatcher. They don't ever show the guys who he's teaching. But if DiJarnett becomes one of those guys and it gives him that ruthless edge of, I'm going to break somebody's arm, or if I ever get into a match with Brian Cage, Thatcher told me how to beat him. I need this. And I feel like there is something there with DiJarnett's wrestling ability and with Thatcher talking for him and them having just regular matches with people or a different style of matches of these technical, I'm going to beat you with submissions and grappling. I feel like there's something there, and I really enjoyed this. And I even enjoyed Oni Lorcan coming out there to whoop on Thatcher because Thatcher's going too far. And if Lorcan joined Thatcher, there's another group right there. They could be the American Imperial.
Or they could be just called the Grapplers. Manny, do you have anything to add to what Marcus said?
American Imperial.
No, I agree with everything he said. That DiJarnett should be a focal point with Thatcher. I think it'd be really good. I just like the Thatcher segment. Like when he put the guy in the armbar and it's like when he releases like go put some ice on that. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, like, the thing was when I got the segment, I didn't know I was getting a Thatcher match. So it's a very unique thing that they're doing a slow build and eventually he's gonna move up in the ranks. DiZ Man, I'm turning to the DiZ Man, Marcus. You talked already. DiZ Man, do you have anything else to add to it before we get to the main event?
Not really, and honestly, I didn't even think about putting the two together. That was a good call. I like that. I'd like to see that happen. You know, like the school of Thatch. That would be kind of cool. Thatch can.
Yep, Thatch can.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
He said it on the show. They actually said it on the show.
But I'll take credit for it.
Yeah, take all the credit. That's what I do. But go ahead, DiZ Man. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I'm gonna put it in a book someday, but that's never mind.
It's copyright already. It's gonna be on the shirt. He's ripping off Thatcher. No, I'm not. It's the other Thatcher. Oh, I I really enjoyed.
I think
that
you forgot
because
what you
one thing
said.
that's weird me up. No. It's still here. I'm just trying to realize how I'm gonna say it, or put it in actual words. When I hear Timothy Thatcher talk, for some reason I hear Al Bundy. I don't know why. Like I literally hear, huh? I'm a shoe salesman. You know, right, give
4
me.
touchdowns and poke high.
Yeah, that's what I feel like I hear when he talks. I enjoy the guy. I enjoy when he talks, but I do have an Al Bundy sense about him, and I don't know what it is. I did this four arm bars, poke high.
So the main event in
We have
NXT
one match.
was Io Shirai going against the shiniest wizard in Tegan Nox. In my opinion, this was the best showing that Tegan Nox has had. Of course, she came up short. This was a very good defense for Io. Now Dakota Kai is in the picture. Manny, I turn to you. Do you think they executed this well of the transition with Nox losing to Shirai and now Kai being in the picture, or could they have done something better?
I think it's the correct transition, but like we all know what we're getting. It's going to be a triple threat match between all three of them. So I don't know why I don't know why they don't just jump to that step, because it's not like Tegan isn't going to get involved in whenever Dakota Kai and Io is going to fight.
DiZ Man, what about yourself? Did you enjoy this match?
I did. I really did. And I even cringed when like what's her name ran her knees into the steps. That took me back. I wasn't ready for that. So
Like, oh,
yeah, I really did. And then when Tegan is Tegan? No, Dakota. I'm sorry. When Dakota threw the boot like at the end, that caught me off completely. That came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I liked everything about that.
Now the interesting thing about this match, Marcus, I'll turn to you, is that we had no doubt in our mind that Io would retain her championship. But there was points throughout the match where Tegan came to some close victories. Did your 100% accuracy of thinking that Io would not lose ever wane a little bit?
no, never wavered for 1 second. But I enjoyed the hell out of this match. I thought it was really good. I'm really glad that the Tegan Nox has stopped the chokeslam. I know she loves doing the Lady Kane move, but she has stopped the chokeslam. And there's a few things I wanted from this match. I know I would never get it, but I still wanted it anyway. Evil just became the new everything champion. He has every title on the singles titles. I wish he would Io would have just threw up the Too Sweet randomly to represent that her man's a part of the Bullet Club, and that makes her officially Bullet Club. You never have to actually say it because WWE owns the rights to it anyway. But if you ever had Io just Too Sweet, Finn Balor one day, I'm all down for that. It gives her more traction. And on the second part of that, maybe I disagree. There's not going to be a triple threat match. Tegan is out.
Yeah.
Tegan got knocked the fuck out. It is Dakota Kai's time. And Raquel Gonzalez is going to back up Dakota Kai. And Io is going to need backup as well. And she's going to need somebody that teamed up with her before. Someone that sent the tweet that she is still eyeing that title. And that is Rhea Ripley. And then we get the battle of the best big women in the game. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez. And Io and Dakota Kai in an epic clash of good versus evil.
Now, and I'm
all for that. That's the storyline I'm going with.
Last question I have is that when Tegan Nox came out, she reminded me of a young Becky Lynch. I don't know why, but I was just like, this looks like before Becky became the man. Do you guys think that one day that Tegan Nox could be the face of the women's division? Anyone can answer.
Not with them knees. She's on borrowed time with those knees.
So was Steve Austin, if you don't recall. Nah, he wasn't. Yeah, I'm not calling.
Doesn't she just have one bad knee? Doesn't Dakota have two bad knees?
No, Tegan's the one with two bad knees.
Okay. Well,
Dakota has one bad knee.
She got to stop doing this.
Kick has some bad knees.
She got to stop doing the shiniest wizard. So now let me dive into Raw. We're not going to spend much time here because I know that Marcus and Manny did a tremendous job of dissecting Monday Night Raw for the masses.
Beefly.
Well played, Betty. I can't even hate on that one. So MVP Lounge started off Raw. Did you guys think that I'll turn to you, Marcus. Did the MVP Lounge with Ziggler, Dolph, and everything get you hyped for the match between them this week at Extreme Rules?
No, because Ziggler's a chump. He's a chump. He's a throwaway guy. And they're just doing this because Drew McIntyre needs an opponent for this pay-per-view. When I would be on board with just having Drew McIntyre just take the month off. Just take the month off. I don't need this match. Yeah, they probably will have a good match at Extreme Rules, the horror show, or the horror show at Extreme Rules, or whatever the fuck they decide to call this show at this point. I'm okay with that. But the only thing I got for that is that Drew McIntyre socked that fool in the face, and that's it. That's the end. That's the end of this feud. Like, if they told me they never interacted again and Drew McIntyre just punched him in the face, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what was going to happen.
DiZ Man, did you get hyped for the match based on this segment, or was it just like, he gonna lose eventually, so it doesn't matter, we're just gonna get there?
I haven't been hyped for this feud at all, to be honest with you. And then on top of that, it was just like Drew even saying you can pick the stipulation. I'm like, what is that about? Shoot, I'd pick a stipulation where your name got to be Dolph to win the match. I'm just not hyped for it at all.
I love that match for a tie because Drew McIntyre's gonna bring out like birth certificate. Well, Nick,
as you can see, my name is really Dolph.
Although I agree with DiZ Man, you got to be named off to win the match. It might make it more entertaining. Man, is there anything else you could add to the match to make this match people care about?
Blindfold match.
Oh no!
Hands behind your hands tied behind your back match.
paddle on a pole. Paddle on a pole.
So WWE decided to get a little bit more creative, and they're trying to create the dissension between Andrade and Garza, because in their tag match they added a stipulation that I don't know if I've seen in WWE in a while, but it became an elimination tag match that had no reason for this elimination tag match to take place in order just to let Andrade and Garza have beef. Manny, were you looking at WWE like, what the hell are you doing with this elimination style match with the Viking Raiders? Just let the Viking Raiders lose.
I don't understand why they needed to get to here, other than to show that, these two can function as a team if they wanted to. But it feels like Andrade's the one that's only making the effort.
Yeah.
I believe that's the story. Andrade isn't as selfish as Garza. Garza, after the match, was leaning back on that table like he done beat everybody in that locker room tonight. Everybody. And this smashed Carly Caruso.
And then at the point, as I told Marcus when I watched that, I'm not fist pounding no man that's leaning back on the table like that. You need to stand up straight before you give me a fist pound, buddy. Like, I'm not Charlie Caruso. DiZ Man, is this?
You're not gonna fist bump me. You're not gonna fist bump
me. I'm not, Manny. I'm not. DiZ Man, is this build to a breakup between this faction with Vega just going too long, or will it not happen?
I don't think the breakup's going to happen. I think at some point they're going to get on the same page and they're going to be a pretty good tag team, or I believe they will. If the only thing that I'm concerned with is, can Angel Garza focus on the team and not on Charlie Caruso?
You got to pick your poison. I might would pick Charlie too in this situation.
I don't blame picking Charlie.
Who the tag team?
Charlie ain't picking y'all though.
Because
Charlie ain't picking y'all.
Because you got to point out, it ain't like the Street Profits gonna be on TV anytime soon because he just had that baby. So, I might as well try to make a baby in Charlie. So.
Okay.
Charlie is a lesbian. A homosexual.
That's not proven.
Yeah, Mark,
It is proven. It is on her Instagram.
No, Tegan Knox.
I want proof. Prove it. Go find it. Go find it.
It's all over her. Her boo. This is the love of my life, and they're all over each other.
That was a dog. That was a dog.
No, it's her and her girl. She has a blonde-headed girlfriend.
Marcus.
Honestly, I thought she was bi.
Marcus.
But
she might be bi.
Mark, I'm letting you know right now. I'm looking at Chuck's Instagram, and I do not see any blonde-headed girl. I see more pictures of her hanging out with her dog. Yes, Marcus. I don't know where you got your intel from.
I'm 100% right.
No, he is right, because I heard the same thing. But it's not on Instagram.
But did you hear from Marcus?
No, I didn't hear from Marcus.
No.
I heard it.
It sounds like Marcus tried to hit on her. She said no, so she was a lesbian for life.
Yeah. So
Don't turn the grand finale down.
now,
Hey, don't turn me into like Sammy Guevara or any of these other allegations, all right? I was not in Charlie Caruso's DM, guys. Do not do this to me. Don't have me suspended.
with that being said, Marcus, I have a question for you because Monday Night Raw saw the return of two female wrestlers, two who are very strong personalities and big characters. We had the return of Bianca Belair and we had the turn of Shayna Baszler. Do you think WWE did the right thing by having them return on the same night? And who had a better return?
I must say Bianca had the better return because she had a full match and she just looked dominant. And you pretty much got all Bianca. You got her promo and you got her in-ring work. Shayna came back and beat up some ninjas, looked ruthless, and did Shayna stuff. But she wasn't Bianca. I'm just saying, Bianca's a star. Shayna's a star as well. But Bianca just seems like she has it. More of it.
But Shayna came back and she beat up a bunch of men who I can assume that were in the ninja suits. And then she said that she's back to bring the women's division back to reality because these other women, they've been playing around. Manny, do you like the return of Shayna or were you more impressed with Belair being back?
So it appears like in the chat that I don't like Bianca, but it was that Bianca seems like she's just a placeholder till Liv
Morgan
comes back. It feels like Bianca's just there because Liv is out currently with possibly rumored COVID symptoms. So I don't think this is a program that we're going to see Bianca Belair in for long term. Whereas Shayna, it basically just told everyone, "Bitch, I'm back," and people are going to get hurt.
I mean, that's what it comes out. So, DiZ Man, turning to you, would you rather see Bianca or Shayna go against Asuka for the women's title at the SummerSlam? We have lost them to the mean streets of Baltimore again. We're gonna wait for the correspondent to get back to us in this situation, but hopefully he'll get back to us soon.
Can I fill in the spot for a second, quick?
Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, Bianca is back because her husband can't act a damn fool on that show right now because of Dawkins' baby, and Ford is gonna be on TV. So I'm assuming she's back until the Street Profits come back.
And they can't be at the same place.
But I feel like both women are on the wrong show. I'm gonna move to SmackDown, in which when Shayna says, "I'm tired of y'all acting the fool," she can refer to some damn karaoke spot rather than being on Raw.
But I'm ready to say I think the women are the best thing about WWE. When you go across all the brands, that's the one thing that I do not stop watching. It's not like when the Nightmare Sisters come on and I throw up in my mouth a couple of times. When I see everybody else,
you telling me you didn't throw up during that karaoke segment last week?
Well, that's a different segment. That's not a match, Manny. I said a match, Manny. Not
yeah, but I wouldn't even count what happened on AEW as a match.
Well, let me point out that the karaoke segment had some moments of bliss in it.
You disgust me.
I know I do.
You disgust me.
Yeah. I'd rather have that AEW tag match than that karaoke any day of the week.
Speaking of disgust, we have the
yeah, I agree, Marcus.
We have Seth Rollins being disgusted that Rey Mysterio really wants to do an eye for an eye match. Like, just disgusted. He wasn't a metaphor, but he really wants to take out his eye. That led to a match where Murphy got defeated by Aleister Black. Then it led to Kevin Owens getting a win over Seth Rollins because everybody surrounded the ring and distracted Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins had that wild main event hair, that mane that just goes all over the place. I must say, I really enjoyed that entire segment with all the participants in that. I'm pretty sure you got the DiZ Man is back. I think he's back on the road.
I'm with you.
Now he got his camera in a different view. Like,
yeah,
he's always trying to go like you died. He's like, it's gonna be all right. AEW is gonna get, AEW is gonna get better. It's gonna get elite. Singing, how much glow, backlights you have in the blur and everything.
Singing, I ain't mad at you.
And we once two fans of the same kind.
So my favorite thing about
you have the same
wow. My favorite thing. Surprisingly, no one's probably surprised about this. My favorite thing that took place on Raw was probably the R-Truth, Randy Orton, Big Show, Flair dynamic. I thought that was hilarious that R-Truth didn't know he was fighting Randy, thought he was fighting Rick. Rick had to give R-Truth insurances that he would not be punted by Randy Orton. Randy Orton proceeded to try to punt him, but then Big Show came out, and it just, for all matters worth, I don't think the Big Show Randy Orton match next week is going to bump the ratings for Raw, but I still liked it. Manny, I turn to you because you look disinterested and we can move on. We can hurry up. We can talk about SmackDown.
He described Manny in every different way in this episode.
I'm paying attention to the chat, and everyone's saying that they're hoping Wes turns up in DiZ Man's car.
You better announce himself if he does or something.
The ultimate run-in right there.
So what are we talking about?
I don't know. I think this show...
We were talking about... I'm going to jump in and say Eric was talking about Randy Orton and the Big Show ain't putting butts in the seats. And I agree, but for me personally, as I said, and the most controversial hot take I may have ever said, I actually want to see this match. And I don't know why. I just feel like they're going to be able to pull it off.
I would rather watch the Nightmare Sisters versus anybody than that.
It's not only Big Show getting punted, it's going to lead to Ric Flair finally getting punted. Because he almost got his ass kicked this week. Saving R-Truth. I don't know what Ric Flair doing. I know he thinks he's in with the black community. And he didn't want to see another black person get kicked by Randy Orton.
So speaking of... I was going to say, speaking of the black community, Manny, what package do you think the Hurt Business sent to Cedric Alexander? Because Richard O'Shea was very upset about Cedric Alexander receiving a package.
Oh, it's probably MVP's greatest hits. a recount of MVP's allegedly amazing United States Championship title run, which I can't even remember happening.
It's the longest.
Marcus, what about you? What do you think that he got in the package?
It was a couple of CDs, some DVDs. Whatever he could find. Phone number of a girl MVP don't want no more.
You know
his little black book.
You know what it was?
What?
A copy of AWO Big Time Players Episode 2, Continuing to Grow.
There we go.
The early copy.
That's it. There you go.
And Eric's book.
Shit happens. Get over it. With that being said, the main event was the Kabuki Warriors versus Sasha Banks and Bayley. Great match. I don't think there's much else to say about that. Is there anything?
There's nothing good to say about a great match. It's like a teacher in school. You got it there, you did great. But the kid that failed, we need to sit down and talk about this for like an hour.
I mean, but that's
you're not even trying.
I mean, like,
you're not even trying. You have so much potential. Look at you.
Speaking of potential,
I grew up in those streets.
Speaking of potential, let's talk about one of the better bounce backs of the week. I'm talking about Friday Night SmackDown. Last week's SmackDown was arguably the biggest trash episode in SmackDown history in a long, long time. And I think that people knew that this was a trash episode. It has such highlights of karaoke by the Divas, because I'm going to call them Divas in this situation, because that's what Divas did, was karaoke. But they decided, Marcus, to start off Friday Night SmackDown with everybody talking about what they do in the night. Did you like that touch?
Hold on, before, you called them Divas. I would not call the Divas that. The Divas would at least did it in bikinis, Eric. They would have did it in bikinis, and it wouldn't have been Tamina out there. I'm just saying, for the record, they would have had all the blondes, everybody they mama out there. They were lower than Divas. They were irrelevant people out there doing karaoke. They were your neighbors, basically. They were everybody's neighbors. Like, I don't want to see you do karaoke. I don't think that. But I did enjoy the opening of SmackDown, of everybody telling you what you're going to see. I mean, they were really trying to hook people in to stay along this time for the show, because they've been dipping in the ratings on all their shows. They were like, just come on and watch us. Just watch us. Watch what Matt Million will do to AJ Styles. Look at Daniel Bryan in the woods talking about this match. We got it all. We got it all tonight.
Manny, did you like the way that they tried to liven up SmackDown with that opening?
the very early '90s opening. It was really cool, except for Matt Riddle, who I feel like ruined the whole thing. What does AJ even stand for? Arrogant jerk.
We all know it stands for Alan Jones, man. We know what it stands for.
Alan Jones.
DiZ
I
Man.
can say Alan Jones like the other Undertaker says Alan Jones.
Alan Jones.
Alan Jones.
DiZ Man, did that opening bring you back to the old vintage style of wrestling where you got like a preview of what was going on and before it happened?
It really did. It took me back to like Saturday night's main event. You know, when the show opened up with the competitors talking about who they were going to face and what they were going to do to them. I actually kind of like that. You know, it did excite me a little bit. I was like, oh, I didn't know these two were going to fight. Okay, cool. All right.
I mean, the question is, you think they're going to continue to do it throughout the shows, or is this going to be something exclusive to SmackDown? I'm not 100% sure.
Consistency does not exist in the Vince McMahon or the WWE. You will never see this intro again. Maybe for 20 years. 20 years you'll see another intro like this.
Well, if they did it every week, I think we'd get bored of it.
That is also true. Marcus, Cesaro beat Big E. Were you sad about this outcome?
No. I enjoyed the match, and I wanted this match a while ago with Big E versus Cesaro. It just makes me think that both of these guys, I would like to see have a singles run one day, and an actual run, not what Cesaro actually does. It's just, I'm going to be in this match, have a good match. That's all I'm going to do. But I enjoyed Kofi and Nakamura arguing on the outside. There were some good spots throughout the match, but I was confused on what was going on because they were saying is the winner gets to pick the stipulation. They were either going to pick a tables match and a cage match, but I don't understand why those were the two options.
Well,
I do not understand.
I was
like, can we just say, I want a ladder match? I want a trampoline match.
I'm going to ask Manny in this situation because after Cesaro and Nakamura won, they explained why they wouldn't pick a cage match because they did not want to see Big E gyrating all on top of the cage, so they went with the tables match. Was that wise logic in picking the stipulation for the match to put them through a table, Manny?
I don't know, because you're fighting, so I don't think Big E would take the time to be gyrating at the top of the cage when the idea is to escape the cage.
Hold on. I can see them doing that anyway.
I can honestly see it. I can honestly see it happening, and this is the main reason why I think someone like Big E should be in a main event singles run, because he's so entertaining. He is actually one of my favorite wrestlers at the moment.
Even when he sits in the corner with the split leg,
he could do that. He could shatter dreams himself, and I'd be amused.
It's absolutely hilarious. Like the things he do, when he's rolling down to the ring or doing that. But also, you want to talk about gyrating in the middle of a match. Asuka and Nikki Cross gave a table dance in the middle of their match to Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Just to point that out, that people gyrate in the middle of matches.
I just have a question though.
Go ahead,
Did they say that they were going to pick the stipulation, or that the fans could vote on the stipulation?
No, the winner got the pick. That was the whole thing.
No, there was apparently a poll on WWE.com that they had a stipulation of which it could be, and the fans were going to vote. Okay. But they said it was too close to call, which I don't believe is true at all. At all.
Okay.
Like, it's 50-50. What do you want cage or table? So the fact is, they couldn't get a cage up to do the show in this little tiny ass arena. I'm just saying.
That's what. Okay, I got you.
With that being said, Kayla Braxton made her return to WWE television after being, COVID positive twice, and she interviewed the most hated man in the game, Mr. King Corbin. Corbin talked about all the stuff, how he hated Matt Riddle and things of that nature. I thought it did a great job of setting up the segue at the end of the AJ Riddle match after AJ won, and then afterwards, King Corbin attacks Matt Riddle. I turn to you, DiZ Man. The Riddle versus Corbin match. I believe this will be a good place starter for Riddle to go. What do you think?
I completely agree with you. This is a good feud. The King of Bros versus the King of the Ring. It's got a nice ring to it. So, yeah, I agree 100% with you. This is a good starting point for Matt Riddle. And Corbin's one of the most hated people in the company. Matt Riddle's
in the
one
world.
of the most liked. So, yeah, it's a good starting point.
Marcus, you start. Oh, go ahead, Manny.
It wouldn't be an NXT call-up if you didn't go through either King Corbin or Dolph Ziggler. But let's just hope this feud with King Corbin doesn't go on for eternity like Roman Reigns did.
Yeah, that's another good point.
Forever.
Y'all need to put respect on Baron Corbin's name. He is doing what he needs to do. People hate him for multiple reasons. He is a true heel. That's what he does.
I like him.
I gotta agree with you.
Stop being a damn king.
I like him, but it's just like they don't have an endpoint for any of his like feuds.
But
they drag on.
But he's
still killing Elias. He's still killing Elias.
But he's still the one guy that gets true heat. That gets true heat because either people want to change the channel, people want him to die, people wish death on everything about him. Baron Corbin is like, as he said in his interview on Busted Open Radio, no matter who you put in the ring against Baron Corbin, the fans will always cheer that person over him. And that is the effective thing of a heel. So
that is very true.
If you're trying to get somebody over, they will always cheer that person over Baron Corbin. And I appreciate that about him.
Okay, my one observation of this. If Kyla Braxton has gotten COVID twice, there's no evidence that you can't get it the third time. You would think she'll wear a mask and then have the person who's interviewing her also wear a mask at this point.
No.
To refer to the Lumber Chat, El Luchador says Corbin has X-Pac heat with him. Grunge Smurf says changing the channel isn't good, Eric.
You know, in the interview, they brought up the X-Pac heat also. I don't know what that means, but okay. Then
no reaction, Eric.
Oh, well, speaking of no reaction, anytime I get a moment of bliss, I don't get a reaction. But surprisingly,
she put some respect on your Lakers. How dare you even speak ill of Alexa Bliss?
Well, I mean, she just speaking was already gonna to never do the fist thing again. She just speaking the truth of what's gonna happen if the bubble actually gets off the ground. But I mean,
it just proves how wrong she's at selecting things. I think she picked Nikki Cross to beat Bayley. Not gonna happen. She picked the Lakers to win the championship. Not gonna happen. I think she picked Braun to beat
Bray Wyatt.
Probably not gonna happen. And she picked Matt Riddle to beat AJ. That didn't happen. She's wrong, Eric. She is wrong on every different level of everything she's ever did. She is wrong.
And she hurt her best friend's feeling when she was not the guest. And then for a minute, I thought the Golden Role Models were the guests, but they were just interrupting. And then Asuka came out, and I was like, well, Asuka wasn't going to have anything to say. I enjoyed this segment, and this is when I said, man, WWE got some of the best women in wrestling, and I do not turn the channel when I see them, even with Alexa Bliss is in the ring. Marcus, don't do the fist thing either.
I'm sorry. It's like spirit fingers. But the Golden Role Models are the best. And the one thing that has bugged me about the Golden Role Models for about 2 weeks is their stupid-ass video package that they keep airing every single time they have to go to the ring. They didn't do it on SmackDown this week, but the song of them doing it for the glory is stuck in my head that it should just be their theme song. It should just be their theme song instead of Bayley having a knockoff Seth Rollins song.
So Bayley and Sasha beat Asuka and Nikki Cross. Nikki took the pin, of course. Going into the main event, I think no one has any doubts on who's going to win this match. DiZ Man, since you look like you sound like you're getting out your car or closing your car, did you like?
I had to close something in the glove box.
You got to put the gat away. I get it. You know, in case West show up. In case West show up.
Don't make me pop my trunk.
Which is like the worst thing to ever do because, like, if you got to pop your trunk and the person that's threatening you is right there, they're not going to let you get to that trunk. Just saying.
That's the thing I always said about that threat. Don't make me go back to my trunk. You still got to get your keys straight and all that. I'm not standing around waiting for you.
The only person that ever was successful at going to the trunk was in White Man Can't Jump when he lost and he went to the trunk and he got his gun. He was like, yeah.
See, that's why me and a friend of mine. Oh, go ahead, Ed.
Go. Say it.
I was just gonna say that's why me and a friend of mine just say, "Don't be here when I get back." And we just leave it at that. You don't know where we're going. You don't know what we're going to do. Just don't be here when we get back.
Because I don't want to get my ass.
Isn't it? Because if I recall, I thought the line was, you bet not be here when I get back. Because usually that's the line I have used before. I don't know.
I have a problem with people with the gun in their pouch too when they flash it to you. Because I'm like, I'm coming at you as soon as you... Because you're not a quick draw artist. You're probably going to shoot yourself in the foot trying to reach your gun out of your pants real fast.
We just gonna move past the fact that Eric just said, he said to people, you better not be here when I get back. What were you intending on doing?
I don't know, man. But they had to know. You know.
And were you wearing your John Cena shirt at the time as well?
Nah. I was just mad about something. I don't know what I was mad about. You know, Marcus knows what happens when I get mad. I don't remember shit. So
if you get mad at me like that, we gonna talk it out. Just for the record, we gonna talk it out.
No, if I get to that, if I get to that level, you just can't get. It's Marcus got the level of pissivity too. He go bite people in the stomach.
That was 2 years old.
What?
Marcus bit some meat out of my stomach, man.
That's too close. You don't bite somebody in the stomach.
He did, man.
Ain't no 5-year-old.
I still got a scar on my stomach. You know, if Manny hadn't outlawed me showing skin on camera anymore, I would show you the scar that Marcus bit me in the stomach with.
You don't have to. I believe you.
So we done with the show?
Huh?
We done with the show?
No, because Marcus, you gotta talk about.
Respect that.
But you know, you gotta talk about your boy cutting the best promo of his life, Braun Strowman. You've been waiting for this, Marcus.
Oh yes.
Braun Scared Man came out there and was like, we're gonna go to the swamp. We're gonna go to the swamp. I don't give a damn. Something's gonna come out of the swamp. I don't care if it's alligators. I don't care if he got a gun. I don't care if he gonna have fire and pitchfork. I'm gonna do something. He bet not come at me. Like, it was so much energy and it felt real. I don't know about, like, normally when Braun talk, it's like Keith Lee without articulation. And it's just like, what are you talking about? It's 3 words at a time. He said like 20 words a minute. And he was going, this way, and I'm going to kick his ass. And I don't give a damn who's in that ring right now. John Morrison, I'm coming for you, nigga. And it's like, what the... Like, John Morrison's worst nightmare, because he didn't want to do this match anyway. And for some reason, President Jack Tunney put him in this match since there is nobody in control of anything. And he went out there and kicked his ass. And I was like, that was a good Braun segment. And he hasn't had one of those maybe in his whole career. It's been a long time.
Then we had the main event with AJ versus Matt Riddle, because I'm pretty sure nobody wants to talk about Naomi and Lacey Evans in the karaoke feud that went too far with another match this week.
The only thing I'll say about it is I still can't get over that they turned Lacey Evans heel over a karaoke contest.
Yeah, it don't make any damn sense.
Yeah, it made no sense, but I'm going to say this. The positives behind it is that Lacey Evans is a better heel than she was a face. She gets to go back to being a heel. And it works. For me, it's better than her being a face. I don't understand how they decided karaoke was going to be her last draw. But
yeah, but my big issue with that, though, Marcus, is that I think with her going back to being heel, it's going to hinder someone else's heel turn, Miss Sonya Deville, who hasn't been on TV in I don't know how long. So,
she mysteriously went missing.
Okay.
She mysteriously got the cough. She mysteriously got the COVID. I think her, Mandy, and Otis all got the Rona.
I was gonna also say Raquel Gonzalez too got the Rona, because where's she been?
Yeah.
They did say they had 30 cases, so
yeah. I mean, if you filter them out, once you start thinking about people, like, yeah, I haven't seen them in a minute. Yeah, you probably got the Rona. So, are we moving on now?
Well,
stomach biting Marcus is a win at all costs champion.
Oh, well, I believe before we get to listener feedback, Manny has the list of matches that we need to pick for this.
We're not talking about the main event? We're not talking about Riddle and stuff?
I said it was a good match with Corbin. I mean, if there's more you want to add to it.
I said it was a bad match. What if I said it was a bad match? What if Manny thought it was a bad match?
Did you think those things?
No.
Exactly.
This is why we have a show.
hey, ho. This is why you have a show.
But I have one thing to chime in. I think they turned AJ Styles face again. That handshake, whenever I see somebody handshake a person after a match, that's normally a face turn. But then Baron
Nah, he saw Baron Corbin coming.
Exactly. He shook his hand, but he didn't stop that beatdown from coming either.
But I can see a scenario in which he is now considered a face. Well, he was in the twinning mode, in which he could be turning face.
By WWE standards, he probably is a face now. You're probably right.
I will let you
I
guys.
can see him turning face. I've seen people turn face for less. Lacey Evans in karaoke, or heel for less. So I can see him turning face, and then on next week's show, get this, he's challenging people for a match. Here comes Adam Cole fighting for on SmackDown. It's a ladies' show.
Good.
It'll be exciting. Adam Cole becomes the new heel of SmackDown and the Undisputed Era.
You don't think he's gonna show up at the horror show?
No.
Okay.
It's a horror show. Why would that? AJ's not even on a horror show.
WWE logic, he probably will show up next week because more eyes will see it. That's how they think about it.
Yep.
All right. I just want to let you guys know why Manny gather up the picks that Marcus and I have to go over for the title I got screwed out of. Jade Haggett commented on you guys' Fyter Fest review and the Great American Bash review. She says, "Love the T-shirt. Do you sell these? Keep making more videos. You guys are brilliant." So that's another shot for the Untitled Marcus and Manny show.
Hey, ho ho!
We are brilliant on our show.
But if you guys would like to get one of the T-shirts to help support the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, you go to storefrontier.com/DSPN, and that's how you can help support the show and, wear a little bit of merch. With that being said, are we ready to pick? So I can get my rightfully title back and then I can retire as champion.
Well, we do have an extra entrant. We do have an extra entrant here today.
Oh, the Lord is now making your title even more difficult, Marcus. Even more difficult.
Wait a minute. What's this?
We did open this up
I am a fighting champion. I am a fighting champion, and therefore I should be given the right to choose my opponent. On AEW, Cody Rhodes is allowed to choose his opponent every single week.
Mr. Motherfucker. Mr. Motherfucker. Mr. Motherfucker.
I do not deserve to be in a title match against two.
Mr. Motherfucker.
Undeserving.
Hey, Mr. Motherfucker. You know I mean real business when I call you Mr. Motherfucker. You're doing the same argument I made last week when you made me defend my title. So deal with it, sir. Deal with it.
You didn't have to fight against two. You didn't have to fight against two. Okay? I am the champion. Okay?
And don't call me undeserving because I have been here since day 227.
Exactly, Marcus.
Day 227.
Don't call me undeserving.
Who you beat?
I ain't gotta be. You know who I am? I'm the guy that gets it done 10 times out of 10. I am the guy that's a god amongst all men. I'm the guy that's cooler than the other side of the fan. You know who I am? I'm the DiZ Man.
Damn, Marcus. Damn, son.
You know what he just said?
Right now, I would have flipped the table and just attacked
really good? What's really good? What's really good, Sharpies?
As I put the belt over Marcus' head right now. Huh?
Is it yours? It's my belt, right?
Yes.
With my plate.
Did you change your plates?
Yeah, he did. There it is.
You ain't gotta change them. I'll take it.
Actually, this man plate would be the book of the AWO.
You just have to put the book up every time.
So Marcus is the champion. So let's get the picks.
So the first match you're picking is Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus in a bar fight.
Who picked first on this one?
The champion.
The champion picked first.
Go ahead, champ.
Yeah, this is a tough one. But I mean, it's a bar fight. I think it's gonna be the most entertaining match of the night.
Pick, man!
I am going to say Sheamus is going to defeat Jeff Hardy. No redemption for the Hardy Boy.
Eric, who you got?
I'm going Jeff Hardy.
And DiZ Man?
I'm going Jeff Hardy to defeat Sheamus and his demons.
He doesn't. He does. This is the WWE. There are no positive stories coming out of this. You want to elevate Sheamus so he can fight Braun. I'm already the champ. It's already over, guys. It's already over.
It ain't over till it's over.
You guys, Taz is getting ready to throw in the towel already for you guys. He's just waiting. Come on. That's it. Come on.
So, the next match, in a tables match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, is The New Day versus Cesaro and Nakamura. The champion, who have you got?
I'm going to holler at your boys, The New Day, to retain their titles because Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are the definition of a makeshift tag team.
Eric?
I'm going to also stick with this and go with The New Day on this pick.
And DiZ Man.
I mean, I'm gonna make it 3 for 3. I'm gonna say The New Day.
Can I pause for a minute? They need to do something about Kofi Kingston. I need a heel Kofi Kingston. I may have brought this up to Manny. I need him to go to AEW, and so I get the true Kofi Kingston heel turn.
Up, down.
I'm up, down, Kofi in the WWE or in wrestling. He is the best heel in all of wrestling.
Wes,
The way he talks trash to whether it's Selena Vega, to Woods, to E, to anybody that they bring in there, because everybody has a beef with Kofi. He talks so much shit. It is amazing.
You've noticed that too? Like, nobody gets along with Kofi?
Yeah, he's an automatic fight because everything's a competition. The fact that he, I forget the writer, the fourth member of the New Day, that he
I know
was
who you're
willing
talking
to he's willing to make a bet. He said the New York Giants will not win a Super Bowl within 2050. He made that bet, and he was 100% confident. Like any heel, he was speaking in full absolutes. It was ridiculous.
As Marcus is trying to delay the loss of his title by bringing up stories, I want to point out that Wes is challenging from the chat room for the title, making it a fatal 4-way, and he has selected Sheamus to beat Jeff Hardy, and he has also selected Cesaro and Nakamura. Commissioner, I ask you to make this match a fatal 4-way. Can you do it, Lord Manny?
He has to be on the show for that to happen.
He's in the chat room.
No, you have to be live so we can hear you.
We doing it live.
Man, y'all can screw me, but you can't screw. I see how it is. This
Tell him I'm representing for Maryland, though. I'm representing Maryland.
That's fine. Let's go to the next match then, since because Wes might be the champion if they let him compete.
So the next match for the United States Championship: Apollo Crews versus MVP. Champion, who you got?
I'm going to say Apollo wins, and he takes the United States title with him and abolishes the old one.
Eric?
Can I have a little bit of time to think about this, Lord? Can I ask to pick last in this one? Because I need to think.
Okay. DiZ Man?
I'm going with Apollo. Apollo's going to take it.
I've thought about this.
Yeah. Did you take your 10 seconds?
I'm going to be the outliner on this one. I'm going with MVP. I feel he made the belt. I think he might get it. I'm going with MVP. And Wes, although you can't challenge for the title, you went with Apollo. I tried to get you a title match.
Hold on.
Wes can have the winner. Wes can have the winner.
He can be the number one contender if he picked correctly. If he picked correctly, in fact, email us your picks, and then we will decide. I mean, before Sunday, before the pay-per-view. If you email us your pick at the sharpshooters@gmail.com, we will consider who is the number one contender via that way. How about that?
Yeah, we do that.
Catch me outside. Catch me outside.
How many matches are we doing, Manny? Are we doing the whole card or are we doing a select few?
Doing the whole card.
Okay.
There's only like 2 more matches.
No, there's like another 5.
Excuse me.
Oh, shit, long.
We got 5 matches.
So next match for an eye match: Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, God. I'm going to say Seth Rollins because Rey can wrestle without an eye by just putting his mask on and doing double shades.
Eric, who you got?
No doubt in my mind, I'm going with Mr. Monday Night, the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins.
Mr. DiZ Man.
I'm gonna go with Seth. I'm gonna go with Seth.
Okay, Mr. Commissioner, since we all went with Seth, can I ask for an extra point as a champion advantage if I can call out the finish of why Seth Rollins wins this match?
No!
Because then we have to go through all the extra additional finishes.
They
No!
don't have any. They don't have any. I'm a champ. Only
No!
one conventional.
As champion, you get to choose the challenge match.
Dominic is
counts
gonna
as
turn
two.
on his father. Dominic is gonna turn on his father and
So the
cough in
next-
his eye.
So the next match is the Wyatt Swamp fight: Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman.
In the swamp.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pick Braun Strowman, even though I'm not confident with this one.
Eric.
I'm going Braun Strowman, no doubt in my mind. Braun Strowman will lose to The Fiend at SummerSlam. He's not going to lose in the swamp because he's just fighting Bray Wyatt right now.
DiZ Man.
You know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna say Bray only because the title's not on the line.
Oh,
Look,
it
title-
isn't on the line, is it?
It's
It's not.
It's not.
That's why I don't think so. They haven't said anything about the title.
It's a non-title match.
I believe so. So I'm gonna go with Bray.
That's a good pick, then.
Bayley versus Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Who you got?
Ding dong! Going Bailey for the victory. Nikki Cross ain't shit. She lost like 2 weeks in a row.
Go on, Eric.
Ding dong! I'm also going with Bayley for the victory because that's what I was going with too.
Who you got? Adrian.
I'm not doing the ding dong, but yeah, I was going with Bayley.
I'm glad you're not doing the ding dong.
Not doing the ding dong.
Next match is Asuka versus Sasha Banks.
How many more do
for
we
the
have?
Raw Women's Championship. What?
Well, can I go first? Because I already realized I'm going to get screwed out of the title anyway again.
No,
So
because you are not the champion. You are not the champion. I am the champion. I am the champion. I'm going with Asuka.
I'm going with the boss. Going with Sasha.
DiZ Man.
Going with Sasha.
Sasha
Golden
has never
role
won a
model.
big
We're
match in
gonna
her
have all the
career.
gold.
Sasha has never won a big match in her whole career. And if they're planning on doing a women's evolution again, you can't give the golden role models all the belts.
Why
But
not?
won't
Why you
have any
can't?
matches.
Why can't you? I want to see it.
Any
Thank you.
matches.
I don't know why you can't.
I want to see it with all the belts. Hell, they can even come challenge for the Sharpshooters Championship.
I do too, though. That's the thing. I want Sasha to win, but I know Asuka's gonna win.
And I'm assuming all of you are picking Drew McIntyre to be Dolph
Damn
Ziggler.
right. Drew McIntyre.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a
But
consistency.
we don't know what the stipulation is yet, though. Like I said, it could be the winner is the guy whose name is Dolph.
So, Marcus, as champion, there are 4 matches that you all differ on. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus, Apollo versus MVP, Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt, and Asuka versus Sasha Banks. There's 2 matches where you are the sole picker of the choice, where you've picked Sheamus and Asuka. Which of those 4 do you want to be your challenge match? Because we don't do ties here.
Wait, which one's my challenge match?
Yeah, which match is going to count as 2?
El Luchador.
I'm going to go with the Sheamus and Jeff Hardy match.
So that's going to count as 2 points.
That's 2.
Luchador said he needs to get on the show live just for a title shot, win the title, and then duck out for a month and be stripped. I appreciate that.
You can go left the rules. It's like worse than Primo rules. I won. Peace.
What is the double point match? I'm assuming he picked Asuka and them, right?
Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy.
Really? That's the one you went with. You should have went with the number 1 bet, Asuka. You know Asuka's gonna win.
I'm a gambler.
Okay, you're gonna lose.
I think I got enough good picks anyway, different than you guys, that I can win anyway.
Okay.
You guys went with Sasha. That's gonna cost you. You went with Jeff Hardy. That's gonna cost you.
But
what
but
was the other
Marcus,
one?
if Jeff Hardy wins, then me and DiZ Man get 2 points, and then you're out the title reign.
There you go.
And-
Take it over.
And it's too late. You
I
already.
don't care. I don't care. I know I'm the champ. I know I'm the champ.
You
Everybody
notice he
knows
leans into the
I'm
camera
champ.
whenever he's not confident.
Yeah,
He leans into
that's
the
what he
camera.
What happens when
I don't
win?
care. Yes, you do. Yes, you
I
do.
am the champion. I am the champion. I am the champion. Le champion. The champion.
Oh, I wish I had some orange juice right now. I wish I had some orange juice.
Celebrate. I'm already celebrating. You can't see the bottles of vodka pouring in my head. I'm already celebrating. I'm the champion. You guys can't even see stuff I'm throwing.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm the champion now.
I'm the champion.
All right, so it's time for me to wrap this up. It's now time for us to read our emails to conclude the show. So I'm going to start off with this email. He says, so I would like to start off by congratulating you guys on 700 episodes. Truly a big moment for you guys. Next, I would like to say I have been a listener since almost the beginning. You guys were on the forefront of podcast wrestling, and I have truly appreciated it. I have, for almost 30 years, enjoyed pro wrestling by myself, but since 2007, I have enjoyed it with my friends, the Sharpshooters. Shout out to my boy Chris, who I met during that time as well, who enjoys wrestling. I have been working on a super tournament since pandemic wrestling has been so bad. I didn't have any plans to share it with anyone, but then I figured it could be a treat for episode 700. I chose 64 of my favorite wrestlers across every promotion and created a super tournament. If you guys want to play,
This could be an episode. So
I know. If you guys want to play this game on the show, that would be awesome. But if not, no worries. I totally understand. So the rules are the 3 of you vote on a winner for each round until you get a tournament winner. Then you just move down the list with whose bracket style. For example, the winner, Joe versus Ishii, will face the winner of Cross versus Murtas. Anyway, thanks for all of you do. And in your in the Chicago area, hit your boy up for a night out in the town. P.S. I will not be in the live comments this time for this show, but I hope the Sharpie Nation has fun. Dashing John Pena, a.k.a. Luchador TV, which he has been in. Yeah, so hey. So what I will do, John, a.k.a. Luchador TV, I will forward this email to Manny, and Manny will formulate and work on a way for us to incorporate this into our own private episode. I might even include Marcus in this too.
The fuck? I'm like co-founder of the show. Why am I like I'm ACC you with this?
Because you said that you stopped checking the email, man. You stopped checking the email, so you had email access. I wouldn't have to forward it to you, so. I
think I do because I log into the Facebook, which is the same as the Google ones. But I honestly just click on the button that says your password. So I honestly don't know how the passwords work. Just go like, oh, that's what I used last time. It worked.
Wait, so all of these are matches that we need to set up to make a bracket?
I believe so. I'm not very good.
All of this is all the ones he listed. He can answer me in the chat at some point. So these are all the first bracket matches, first round matches.
I think so.
I can set that up.
Okay, I can't do it.
I can do it.
TA commented on you guys' video. He for the Raw recap on July 14, 2020. He says, "Great stuff, boys."
Boy.
Yeah, boy. Dang, I wish I was in the 80s as a rapper, just ad-lib like Flavor Flav. I feel like I could have made it.
It looks like John also sent a bracket, Manny. I'll forward that to you too.
You could have been the greatest hype man in history.
I could have been, and it's ruined. If I wasn't, 4 or whatever it was in the 80s.
Well, I tell you what, I'll start rapping and you start being my hype man. We can take it on the road for like a week.
Oh Jesus!
We got to get run.
There we go.
He'll quit as soon as he doesn't get his due shine, and he'll start a new show. He'll start a new show with somebody else who was invited to the show.
Now, if you want to be a musician, it's the best time. You can do some hella fine lip singing right now. You don't have to do any live concerts. You have to do live concerts. No one's allowed to be in a live concert. So I'm doing some hella concerts where I'm lip syncing. I'm Millie, that's Vanilli. We gonna get this shit right. I can rap, I can sing, I can sing.
Another person that's been in the chat room also sent in the email is from Chris. He says, "Hello, gentlemen. I want to apologize for the past couple of weeks for getting into too much serious talk. Life has been a bit hard recently. Sorry about that. On to Raw. Bianca Belair is back. Fun fact, I have never watched one of her matches while wearing pants."
Oh, that's
boy.
not fun at all.
Who's this from?
That's from Chris.
What do you think? It's Chris.
I mean,
Oh my.
wow, that's
I mean,
That's
it's been hot.
bonerific.
It's been hot. Yeah, it's been hot lately. You know, the weather's been. But
All
I
right.
don't think anything to do with the weather.
And onto NXT. Keith Lee is so damn likable. Great promo to start the show, and a nice callback acknowledging the co-star who propelled him into the upper echelon of the business, Dijakovic. Now I understand why he was so hard on me in the chat. Manny, hey, you need a new prop. What prop, you may ask? That would be a top hat for you when you do your Cameron Grimes impression. Work on that for the next show. Chris, you don't understand. If Manny gets a top hat, Marcus will be extremely jealous because Marcus is a fan of top hats, and he's actually owned a couple in his lifetime.
Yep. A top hat and a cigarette holder is the greatest look anybody can have.
And a monocle.
No, I would go with a monocle.
Oh, with the monocle, and you gotta have the white and black shoes with the black bottom with the core being white. Oh man, you stand out.
And maybe a pocket watch with the chain.
So you're just gonna
Don't forget about the cane.
So you're just gonna be the Monopoly guy, right? Just the Monopoly guy.
Fuck, that's what I am. That's my true destiny.
Here's where you say, then buy me one. Come on, man. You have more riches than the Sharpie Nation combined. I actually fell asleep on his match versus Priest and just don't want to go retry seeing it. The only downside is that Lee has to do this during a pandemic era of WWE, and I would have loved to see him and Cole tear it down at a traditional takeover. I agree with Beth Phoenix. Those two are magic together. Lee would benefit from wearing a slinglet or just better biker shorts attire in general. I could agree. I think he really needs to step his attire up, in my opinion. I'm starting to like that group of which Marcus can't pronounce their name. It always helps when the company gives people time to develop personalities with these types of segments. Marcus, hey, Marcus.
Legado del Fantasma. It sounds like a spell from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Legado
del Fantasma. So, Mark, he says.
Now it's gonna stick.
He says, when's the last time you were clean shaven? I just begun growing my facial hair, mainly for laziness, and good God, the itching is almost insufferable. Was this a problem for you in the beginning?
Yeah, it's terrible. That's why I don't shave. Because if you try to grow it back, you end up going through the itch that week of like just pure itching, and it's the worst feeling in the world. And you got to remind yourself not to scratch and everything. So that's why I grow. The last time I was clean shaven probably was I want to say right before January, somewhere in November or December.
He says,
Who else decided to dress up as the Green Lantern?
He says, Aaliyah. I'm a bit sad that I missed out seeing and meeting Scarlett last year at Comic-Con when she came to Baltimore. Wes, and the other Maryland people, did you go to the Comic-Con? DiZ Man, you're on the show. Did you go to the Comic-Con?
I did not. I did not have the funds at the time, so I did not attend.
All right. Well, there you go. The hater, the guy who wrestles stature, can replace Dawkins in the Street Profits. And while I have your attention, Eric, hey Eric, how do you make your burgers? The seasons that you use, toppings, have you ever done stuffed burgers? Tells us. I will go back to the burger making. I'll tell you, and you again, since y'all didn't listen the first time, to Io Shirai is the best woman in WWE. And to answer a couple of questions you have for me, I work with a crew of 2 to 9 people, depending on the night, but 2 of them are racist pricks. I told you how I play wrestling themes and envision myself being the wrestler. For example, playing Austin theme and stomping a mud hole in Gary. Yes, you could say I do love my friend. Until next time, I remain wondering why Lego sets cost so damn much. Did you see the Lego NES set? Peace. Yes, I did see that set, but I wouldn't buy it. As for my burger,
did you actually play NES on that? No?
Yeah, I believe it's a functioning thing. You can put it together and it will actually function as a true NES.
Sweet.
But
pretty
you
cool.
know the NES not with taking cartridges but playing the ROMs and stuff on there.
Oh, okay.
So as for making a
Still
burger,
pretty-
if I really want to make a fancy burger, it's kind of a waste of money. But you go to your local butcher, you get you some brisket, and you get you some short rib, and you get that ground into a ground beef. Then you make that into a nice little patty. About 6 ounces is a good way to go. You keep it simple, season it with some salt and some pepper. Have a hot pan, grill it on one side to its nice sear. Flip that some bitch, sear it on the other side. Let the meat, put the meat to the side, let it rest. Take some mayo on your bun, spread it on there, put it on the hot pan so it can toast and get a good caramelization on there. Place the meat on there, maybe with a slice of cheese. I don't do a slice of cheese really because I don't like that. Get some nice butter leaf lettuce, couple of vine ripe tomatoes, chop it on there and put it on the top of the burger, and that's it. That's for me. Simple to the point.
Now, how many does that serve?
Keith Leibowitz.
Depends on how much meat that you buy. It really
Okay.
does. Like, so I think if you break out each pound to 6 ounces, 6 ounces get you, that's about 2 pounds worth of ground beef if you just buy regular ground beef. If you want to go on the cheap and not do the short rib and the brisket, which I only did once and it cost me a lot of money, because when the butcher tells you, you know you're going to lose money grounding this, I was like, I know what I'm doing.
Mind your business, David.
Yeah, you go with
Yeah,
just
go
go.
back there and you butcher and blade, right?
Yeah, you go. You just try to find you a good 80-20 split with your ground beef, 80% 80% beef, 20% fat, because it gives it a good.
Yep, I got you.
It gives it a good flavor.
You
Don't
know-
buy that lean
You know
beef.
what you did? You should have just ordered like Keith Lee. Can I get that lean piece of meat?
Nah.
I'm gonna cut up some chives, dice them up real slow, sear them. I don't even know how to cook. So I'm saying random things I've heard.
Take the venture to the delicatessen and purchase some fine-ish meat, if you would please, sir.
He got me just looking around and shit. Like, what are you looking at?
Oh man, you know what, Wes? I'm impressed that someone made lasagna. I haven't tackled lasagna yet because it's a lot of work, man.
As someone posted in the chat, Eric, cooking with the hater would be a good show.
It probably will be.
Oh, Eric, you gotta do that. Do that.
It will be because I remember when my dumbass decided to make empanadas on Sunday right before I went to work, and that was a lot of work because I had to make fresh dough, and then I had to make the stuffing for it. Then I stuffed it, then I had to fry it. But it was well worth it. It was really good. But you really shouldn't eat fried foods after 9 o'clock.
You shouldn't eat any fried food. It's bad for you.
But you still eat it.
Yeah. Not me, not right now. I'll still eat it, but you know.
Yeah.
Today's my cheat day. Today's my cheat day. I celebrated, man. I ate good for breakfast for the first time in a while.
So, DiZ Man, you didn't have a chance to send in email.
I knew I was going to be on the show.
Yeah, so is there anything that you would like to say? Give us some wise words of wisdom and plug your book.
First of all, once again, thank you guys for letting me be on the show. You know, one of the big reasons I love this show is because my wife loves the show. There are many times where I have gone back and said, guess what Eric and Marcus said? And then they got Manny in on it, and it's just, and she just laughs and goes on. So I really, yes. So you guys are just the bee's knees, ankles, and his toes. I just love this show, and I will forever be a supporter of you guys. So thank you for allowing me to grace you guys with my presence, because I really appreciate it. As far as words of wisdom go, I usually just tell people, fear don't equal impossible. No matter what, even if you're scared to do something, even if you're afraid to do it, you are still capable of doing it. So do not let fear stop you from doing it. And as far as my book goes, swing by Amazon, pick up a copy of AWO Big Time Players Episode 1, The Beginning of Change, and pick up a copy of AWO Big Time Players Episode 2, Continuing to Grow.
But
and before I go,
I was gonna
I
say,
do have
you know,
one quick question.
but before you go, it's one more thing. If I'm thinking about going on a vacation or traveling, is there some place I should go that maybe could help me out?
You know, I am so glad you asked. It's funny you should mention that, because I am in the travel business as well. I am a travel advisor, and if you do wish to take a trip somewhere, you know, you don't have to go far. Just go to my website of emersoncotton.intellitravel.com. That's Emerson Cotton, EMERSONCOTTON, all one word, .inteletravel, INTELE, travel.com. Thank you so much for asking, Eric. You are a terrific host. You know that? You are a
I just want
terrific
to point
host.
out, El Luchador TV had the best name for my show. From Hate to the Plate, featuring Eric the Hater.
I love that. Yes.
Oh,
Yes. From hate to the plate.
wow. What, you gonna make some hater tots? Like, come on.
Hater tots, wash it down with some haterade.
Man, that's great. That is a great name. That is a great name. From hate to the plate. That is the greatest name for a show. Bravo.
Well done.
Nah.
We're gonna put a link to your travel agency and thing because it was a lot of spelling and a lot of things to get right, and people may be like, it sounded like at one point you were playing Wheel of Fortune. If we can figure out how to get this done. But yeah, we put a link in the description. And we appreciate you for listening. And all of a sudden, I took up our hosting duties because Eric decided to lean like a cholo. And he elbows up, side to side. But I appreciate all the listeners out there. I entered the chat for about 30 seconds to see what was going on. See the party that I always miss out on because I don't have no access to the chat right now.
That's still your profile picture?
I appreciate everybody for helping us propel to this 700 episode. Without you guys, I would have quit years ago. All I needed was 2 people to hear me rant. That's all I need. I need somebody to talk to me while I'm on my soapbox. That's it.
Weren't you supposed to quit at episode 500?
We did quit, remember?
10 years.
Remember?
I quit at the 10 years clause. I was quitting.
That's what it was.
And I quit. I did. I never said I wasn't coming back.
There was an episode that we both quit and we were crying and shit. I don't remember that episode, but that was
yeah. You were crying. Shit.
Now, I was at work almost crying. I had to hold it back. Y'all almost got me fired that day.
Well,
what you over there crying about? Mind your business. Leave me alone. I'm working. Shut up. True. Sorry, David.
You should call it a dusty episode because I was crying. It was real dusty in that room.
I like the point that he said he wasn't crying. Now he's crying. Well, anyway, 700. We got what? 1,400. We got 700 more episodes to go to get to 1,400.
You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah, why 1,400 a goal?
Because it's double 700.
Why not 1,500 or 2,000 or?
All you got to do is drop a show twice a week like y'all used to. Just drop a show twice a week like y'all used to.
See, that's the honest way. That's the honest way, DiZ Man. All I gotta do is title next week's episode 1400, and no one would be no wiser.
That's even better. There you go.
Well, we start counting every Manny and Marcus show as episodes of the Sharpshooters. It would just be 3 shows a week. 3 shows plus our bonus content of episodes. We'll be at 1,100 episodes.
So I have been contemplating this. Like, I think if we could sell some T-shirts and stuff like that, possibly, I could upgrade our podcast hosting feed and maybe create a separate feed for just the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. So people who can't watch the show on YouTube or don't have time to sit in front of a computer, they can download it to their favorite podcatcher and listen to the show. But I'm just thinking about that.
Account. You on SoundCloud?
Huh?
You better get on SoundCloud. We can be on SoundCloud. I don't think we're on SoundCloud.
Where we show off our mixtape.
Yeah, I was like,
absolutely.
It's just
Manny and Marcus in the Untitled mixtape.
It's just 100 hours of diss tracks on Eric.
Anyway,
our next shirt, From Hate to the Plate. You gotta make that, and it's gotta be,
that would be a wicked
so
show.
The thing about like doing a cooking show, it's hard to really film because you need multiple people to film stuff. So if a cooking show does happen, it'll probably happen after September.
Get a bunch of tripods, Eric.
Huh? No, because like with cooking shows, you need to zoom in to see. You need to have a person hand holding the camera, and then on top of that, you need to also have somebody that's willing to edit the footage together afterwards to make it cohesive. And I don't have no time to do that. And there's only one person I know that likes editing video, and that's the person right there, who I will not say his name.
The man has gone to September, guys. Gone to September. But gone to September.
I got fake news.
February, March, April, May, just some other months. I'm going to September.
Eric, Wes asked who's going to be guest starring on the show next week.
I don't know.
No one. I mean, there's no plan. You act like we planned this shit throughout the week. There is one production meeting where we're all together, and that is today, and it's about 5 minutes, and 4 of those minutes is Eric trying to put the show in the condition you're seeing it is right now.
So the DiZ Man left at this point during the production meeting, and Marcus was playing Seal.
Kissed by a Rose. But not only was he playing Seal, he was playing it extremely loud, but still trying to talk to Manny and I. And we couldn't hear it because we kept hearing saying, "Oh, been kissed by a rose on the ground."
I wasn't just playing Seal, guys.
You're gonna get us.
But you're gonna get us demonetized, sir. Especially with
you're not gonna get past this part. Stop! That's how it goes.
You know what, Wes? We'll reach out to you if it depends on who's the champion or not.
I'm the champ. I'm the champion.
We'll see.
Mm.
I am the champ. I have the 15 pounds of gold around my waist. It's the reason why my back and hip hurt to this day. It's because I've been carrying you suckers and this title for too long.
Is Ryan at your establishment?
He said he had to go to the doctor or something about like he got AIDS or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Did he eat fish? Is that what happened?
No. He didn't eat fish and choose to die. He said he needed a physical and something. And he hasn't had one in a while, and I don't know.
Coronavirus.
All right, cause
he seemed fine yesterday.
Cause are we gonna do Slammiversary?
Let's do it. How about this? If he won't pick me up to take me over there, you pick me up. I'll stay tonight. I can watch Backlash. You don't have to take me back until whenever. It's not like I gotta go to work. Sucker! Thank you, government.
That might work. We'll see how it goes. All right. Well, I guess I'll get on the road and I can put the audio show off when I get back. I want to thank DiZ Man for joining us. DiZ Man, what's the name of your new book again, and where is it available at?
Well, if you're talking about my new book, then you're talking about AWO Big Time Players, Episode 1, The Beginning of Change. And you're also talking about AWO Big Time Players, Episode 2, Continuing to Grow, which is all available at Amazon as an ebook for $2.99 or paperback for $7.99. Or you can pick up both. Really doesn't matter to me. But just remember.
Adrian,
yes, sir.
I did pick up your book. It should be arriving on Wednesday.
You are the man, Manny. I appreciate everything about you. You are a delightful human being, and I thank you.
And I will be plugging that shit all the time on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
On the untitled Manny and Marcus show. And it will be there all the time. Just sit there in the background. In fact, maybe the untitled Manny and Marcus show would do a book club episode as you motherfuckers.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let it happen.
It's on camera. We can all see it.
You hot pocket eat motherfucker.
That ain't no hot pocket. That's a Popeye's apple pie.
That is a strawberry strudel pie from Popeye's chicken. I hope your blood pressure skyrockets. By the way you ate
we all know Eric eats pie.
got that tag back.
We all know Eric likes to eat pie.
Yeah.
He don't worry about that blood
That
sugar.
match.
That blood sugar's gonna go up when he eats that.
Woo. You're a walking symbol of diabetes.
Diabetes.
But it's good. You enjoy it, brother. Enjoy it.
Man, this shit delicious right now because the only thing I have was some honey bunches of oats, so ain't nothing like some pure sugar right here.
Eric, live your best life. You do that, sir.
Anyway.
Live your best life.
Anyway, I'm Eric.
The hater.
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm Lord Manny. Hey!
Ho! Our part is the grand finale from the untitled Manny and Marcus show, and we were joined by our special guest, the man that needs no introduction, the best and future loser to the Sharpshooter champion.
Everyone's favorite Sharpie, the DiZ Man.
Please remember to like, subscribe,
Hit
and
that
ring
notification
and ring the
bell.
bell for notification if you like what you see. And you can always email us at thesharpshooters@gmail.com. It shall pop up on the screen right now.
DA the Sharpshooters.
With that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And until I go find me something else to eat, stay sharp.
I was like 2 minutes.